Chapter 203. Night Sorrow didn't speak for a long time. He couldn't express the feeling in his heart. Is this the end of the road for a hero? Night Sorrow's blood suddenly accelerated. He couldn't even suppress it. His Zhenqi and the energy in his body began to riot. This made Night Sorrow unable to sit still. He stood up and tried to control it. Looking at Night Sorrow's hair flying and almost standing up, Sikong Chuyu was stunned. He didn't understand what was going on. However, seeing that Night Sorrow's energy was out of control, Sikong Chuyu made a move. He reached out and touched Night Sorrow's chest, trying to help Night Sorrow calm his Zhenqi. But as soon as his finger fell on Night Sorrow's chest, it was bounced away. Calm down, Night Sorrow, calm down. Sikong Chuyu said anxiously. Night Sorrow circulated his Zhenqi and the energy of the myriad Dao Tome, slowly stabilizing his boiling blood. After taking a deep breath and wiping the sweat from his forehead, Night Sorrow sat down. What happened to you just now? Sikong Chuyu took out his handkerchief and handed it to Night Sorrow, and asked nervously. I don't know. I just felt a little depressed and angry. Then my Zhenqi and blood went out of control. The speed of circulation was several times faster than usual. If I was in a fight just now, my combat power would have increased a lot. Night Sorrow wiped his sweat with the handkerchief. He held it in his hand and didn't know whether to return it or not. If he returned it, it would be a little dirty. If he didn't return it, it would be inappropriate to keep a woman's handkerchief in his hand. Do you have a potential bloodline talent? Seeing that Night Sorrow was fine, Sikong Chuyu asked. I don't have any bloodline talent. Night Sorrow said with a smile. It's hard to say. In your situation just now, the intensity and speed of your Zhenqi were no lower than the core condensation stage. If there are no drawbacks, this is the manifestation of your bloodline talent. Sikong Chuyu said very seriously. Can you give me this handkerchief? Night Sorrow looked at the sweat-stained handkerchief and said. Sikong Chuyu glared at Night Sorrow but did not say anything. How could he ask such a question? As long as there was something to it, he could just put it away. Seeing that Sikong Chuyu didn't say anything, Night Sorrow put it away. After chatting with Sikong Chuyu for a while, Night Sorrow left. After returning to Dadgu's residence, Night Sorrow saw that the front and back of the bamboo house had changed. The layout of the bamboo house hadn't changed, but the bamboo had been replaced with new ones. The yard had also been paved with green bricks, but the toy wooden horses were still in their original positions. There were also red walls around the yard. The repair speed was fast, mainly because many people came. In addition to the craftsmen, there were also many people who helped. Not only the old villagers of Zhuyuan village, but some of the town's businessmen also came to help. It was finished in one afternoon. You went to have fun. 6th senior sister and I served tea and water here. Young Lei looked at Night Sorrow with dissatisfaction. Hee. Night Sorrow smiled awkwardly. Are you going to ignore me and 6th senior sister now that you have a new woman? Young Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. No, absolutely not. As long as 6th senior sister and 9th senior sister need it, I will do anything. Night Sorrow quickly said. That's a good boy. If you cast me and 6th senior sister aside just because you have a woman, then you better be careful. Humph. Young Lei reached out and patted Yishang's shoulder as she snorted. 13. It's not suitable for us to see her. Let's talk about it when we go back. Aoi said. 6th senior sister, 9th senior sister, I plan to bring Sikong to Bamboo Forest Peak, the place where I used to cultivate. Is that okay? Night Sorrow asked. That shouldn't be a problem, but you still have to say hello to Master and eldest senior brother. Aoi said. Night Sorrow nodded. At the same time, he also decided to leave tomorrow. The Medicine Valley was in troubled times, and it wasn't suitable for them to stay here for long. That night, Night Sorrow and Papa Gu talked a lot, and only went to bed in the second half of the night. Night Sorrow originally wanted to help Papa Gu, and wanted to ask Aoi to get some low-level elixirs. However, Aoi said that Papa Gu's dantian was shattered and he couldn't cultivate true qi anymore. His body was also aging and he couldn't absorb the energy of the blood essence elixir. This made Night Sorrow give up helplessly. In fact, Papa Gu could only live the life of an ordinary person. At dawn, Night Sorrow arrived at the inn and informed Sikong Chuyu that he was leaving. He also told Sikong Chuyu to wait for him at Grass Valley Town near the entrance of the Medicine Valley. Night Sorrow didn't dare to let Sikong Chuyu go to Danding City or Longquan Courtyard mainly because he was afraid that they would be discovered. That would be troublesome to deal with. After bidding farewell to Sikong Chuyu, Night Sorrow planned to leave with Aoi and Yang Lei, who were on the street. At that moment, Uncle Nyo pulled Night Sorrow into the backyard of his inn. "Come, Uncle doesn't have anything to give you. Take this wine with you." "Uncle, how can I let you spend so much money?" Night Sorrow said embarrassedly. "What's wrong with you, kid? You've been away for 1 or 2 years and you've become so shy. Just take it when I tell you to. It doesn't cost much." Uncle Nyo glared at Night Sorrow and yelled at him. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that if he didn't take it, Uncle Nyo would get angry. Then he took a few jars. "Night Sorrow, we watched you grow up. You're no different from our own child. Everyone in the village is grateful to you for being able to live such a good life. So you don't have to stand on ceremony with your uncles and aunties." Aunt Lin came with a few robes in her hands. What else could Night Sorrow say? He could only bow and accept the robes. "If you're tired outside, come back. Get a wife and live a stable life. If you have children, Aunt Lin will help you take care of them." Aunt Lin glanced at Aoi and Yang Lei and said. Aunt Lin's glance made Aoi and Yang Lei blush. People in the mountains were honest, but her words and gaze were too direct. Night Sorrow smiled and didn't answer. Then he bade farewell to everyone. When he reached the street, he turned around and glanced at Father Gu, who was standing at the entrance of the alley. Night Sorrow bowed deeply, then released Tianyu and jumped onto Tianyu's back. Aoi and Yang Lei also released the green condor and left with Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow can enter the Medicine Valley. He will become a big shot in the future, Aunt Lin said with emotion. This lord is not an ordinary disciple in the Medicine Valley. He is at least an elite disciple, a steward of the Chamber of Commerce said. Steward Joe, tell us, what is an elite disciple? Uncle Nyo was interested. Just now, when that lord bent down to take the wine, his tight-fitting sleeves were exposed from under his robes. There was a silver medicine cauldron symbol on it. Ordinary disciples of the Medicine Valley are not qualified to wear such robes, said Steward Joe of the Chamber of Commerce. Yi Shang will have a bright future, Auntie Lin said firmly. You latest be chapter previous plus, the higher this lord's status in the Medicine Valley, the smoother Bamboo Garden Town's future development will be. Don't sell the shops and land in your hands. If you want to sell them, you have to come to me first, Steward Joe said with a smile. Get lost, Yuzhou Bapi. How dare you cheat people? I'm not done with you. Father Gu shouted from not far away. Father Gu, I'm not an unscrupulous merchant. Otherwise I wouldn't say this, right? Steward Joe didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Chapter 204. Genius 1 Second. Remember Love Go/Little? We will provide you with interesting novels to read. Yes, we've arranged to meet at the inn in Grass Valley. Night Sorrow nodded. Then clean up Saugu Town when we get back. The grand ceremony to celebrate the Supreme Elder's breakthrough to the exalted stage is coming soon. Saugu Town will become lively, and there will be more people coming. However, it won't be that quick. It will take at least half a month for the people from all sides to arrive, said Yang Lei. Which peak is in charge of Grass Valley Town now? Night Sorrow asked. I don't know. It was Danding Peak last year. I don't care which peak it is this year. However, it won't be a problem to arrange for you to go there. After all, your senior sister is an elder. Yang Lei patted her chest and said, Mind your image. Aoi said helplessly as she looked at Yang Lei patting her perky chest. Isn't it just in front of junior brother? I won't do this in front of others. Yang Lei was hurt by Aoi's words. 13 is not young anymore. You can't be like this. Aoi said. It's okay. Senior sister, you can do whatever you want. Night Sorrow could tell that Yang Lei was a little embarrassed. I really don't know what to do with you guys. Aoi was a little helpless. After 3 days, the three of them returned to Medicine Valley. Without going to Longquan Courtyard, Night Sorrow went to Danding Peak. He wanted to talk to Yang Yu about bringing Sikong Chuyu to Bamboo Forest Peak. He had to ask for instructions. In a loft behind Danding Peak, Night Sorrow and the other two met Yu Yangyu. You're back. It's rare for you to go back. You can stay for a few more days. Yu Yangyu said with a smile when he saw Night Sorrow. Disciple has something to say to Master. Please make a decision. Night Sorrow bowed and said, if there's something difficult, just tell Master. It's okay. Lu Yangyu nodded. Night Sorrow then told him about Sikong Chiyu. Sure. Even if there is a real problem, I will step in. However, I will only step in as a personal matter. After all, this matter has nothing to do with the Medicine Valley, Yu Yangyu said. Thank you for your permission, Master. Night Sorrow bowed. Alright, go ahead. Yu Yangyu nodded. After leaving Danding Peak, Yang Lei, Aoi and Night Sorrow went to Tsaogu Town and found the person in charge of maintaining order. The leader of the patrol team this time was Feng Yan, a disciple of Wuwei Peak's Yi Shuai. He was also ranked 7th on the Yuan leaderboard. The situation has been a little tense recently. Let Night Sorrow assist you in Tsaogu Town for a few days. Yang Lei said to Feng Yan. Thank you, Elder. Disciple was just worried that the situation would be too tense to control. Feng Yan said happily. Percent first take care. 13 stay here. They will probably be here in a few days. As for big senior brother, I will go and greet him with 6 senior sister. We will come to visit you later, Yang Lei said to Night Sorrow. All right. Night Sorrow nodded. After Aoi and Yang Lei left, Feng Yan pulled Night Sorrow to an inn. Uncle Master, I have always wanted to treat you to a drink, but never had the chance. Since we are free today, why don't we drink to our heart's content? Boss, bring the meat and wine up. All right, let's drink to our heart's content. Night Sorrow was also in a good mood. The two of them grabbed the beef and drank the wine in big mouthfuls. Two dishonest people. How can I miss out on such a thing? Yinhai came. Seeing Night Sorrow and Feng Yan drinking, he pulled a chair and joined in. Subsequently, more and more people came to drink. Lan Yu, Huang Qian, Danding Peak's Chen Yun and the rest all joined in. Uncle Master Knight, we are all disciples on the Yuan leaderboard. We should take care of each other. Let me remind you, you have offended my Uncle Master Lin Jingyi. You may end up in a terrible state. Lan Yu said after drinking a mouthful of wine. I'll go and apologize when I have the time, Night Sorrow said. If apologizing works, then the world will be peaceful. You had better think of a way to resolve this. Otherwise, you can ask your master to come forward and ask for her hand in marriage. Once you accept her, everything will be settled, Lan Yu said with a smile. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Night Sorrow put down the wine bowl in his hand and said. What did you say? Just as Night Sorrow was speaking, Lin Jingyi entered the inn. Currently, Feng Yan was in charge of the safety of Grass Valley Town. He was the leader of the patrol team. However, the Medicine Valley had also sent out a second-generation disciple to hold the fort. This was a sect mission. There was a certain amount of merit points as a reward. Coincidentally, the person who had accepted this mission was Lin Jingyi. What? What did I say? Looking at Lin Jingyi's cold face, Night Sorrow knew that she was looking for trouble. At the same time, he was displeased. I'm asking you. What did you say just now? Lin Jingyi said as she took 2 steps in front of Night Sorrow. I said it's impossible. What's wrong? Night Sorrow stood up and asked. Have you grown hair on your head? Lin Jingyi's body flashed and kicked Night Sorrow's abdomen, causing Night Sorrow to retreat 6 to 7 steps. Lin Jingyi's speed was too fast. Night Sorrow couldn't dodge at all. I'll remember this. Kill me today if you can. Night Sorrow wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. With a wave of his arm, 4 sky-piercing spears appeared in his hands. Junior Master Lin, please calm down. Lan Yu quickly stood in front of Lin Jingyi. Junior Master Lin, you've gone overboard. Feng Yan and Yinhai stood in front of Night Sorrow. Are the few of you rebelling? Lin Jingyi looked coldly at Yinhai and Feng Yan. We don't have any intention of rebelling. However, Junior Master Lin, you can't go overboard, Feng Yan said. Yinhai, Feng Yan, Chen Yun. Move aside. I want to see if she can kill me today. Night Sorrow took 2 steps forward. Do you think I don't dare? Lin Jingyi looked at Night Sorrow with an ashen face. Overbearing. You've always been overbearing. I believe you dare. Come on. Today, I'll go all out with crepe myrtle. Let's see what you can do. Night Sorrow's true chi and myriad Dao Tome's energy were channeled into his arms. As long as Lin Jingyi moved, he would shoot the sky-piercing spears. At this moment he was furious. All along, Night Sorrow had tried his best to avoid crepe myrtle's matters. Every time he would accompany her with a smile. Even at Danding Cliff, when Lin Jingyi's attitude was not good, he would welcome her with a smile. However, when Lin Jingyi attacked him directly, he could not accept it. Lin Jingyi squinted her eyes and looked at Night Sorrow. She did not expect Night Sorrow's reaction to be so strong. She was a little regretful. She should not have attacked Night Sorrow directly. However, now that Night Sorrow did not give her any face, she had no way to resolve the situation. She also understood that as long as she attacked, the 4 short spears in Night Sorrow's hand would be shot out. The power must be amazing. Junior Master, let's forget about this. It's not good to make a big deal out of it. Lan Yu said. Whose side are you on? Lin Jingyi looked at Lan Yu. Chapter 205. Genius 1 second. Remember Love divided by Go divided by Little? SageNet, providing you with interesting novels to read. While they were in a stalemate, a woman entered the inn. She was wearing a purple dress with a thin veil covering her face. Her face was also covered by a white veil. Love Go Little say, Netka. The woman came to Night Sorrow's side. Are you alright? I'm here. I'm fine, let's go. Night Sorrow kept the 4 sky-piercing spears into his storage ring, and said to the veiled woman. No, since they bullied you, you have to fight back. Is it honorable for a level 5 spirit-severing stage cultivator to attack a chi-gathering stage cultivator? If you want to fight, I'll accept it. The woman stood in front of Night Sorrow. Forget it. This is a conflict between us. It's nothing, let's go. Night Sorrow did not want Sikong Chiyu to cause too much of a commotion, nor did he want Sikong Chiyu to stand up for him. Sikong Chiyu was not willing to give up like this, but Night Sorrow pulled him back, so he could only leave. After leaving the inn, Night Sorrow summoned Tianyu and brought Sikong Chiyu towards the Taishan Peak. Martial uncle, what you did today was wrong. You can't just hit people directly. Luckily, Martial uncle stopped in the end. If you hit both of them, this matter would be blown out of proportion. Lan Yu said. Hit what? They are peak level 4 spirit severing stage cultivators. Lin Jingyi glared at Lan Yu and turned to leave. Lan Yu, Feng Yan, Shi Yunhai and Qin Yun looked at each other. When did Night Sorrow have such a fierce person by his side? Senior sister Lan Yu, I think that girl is quite young. From her gaze, she seems to be much younger than Junior Master Lin, Feng Yan said. Sigh, Junior Master Lin has gone overboard this time. I'm worried that this matter won't end just like that. Junior Master Yi probably won't say anything, but this matter will still spread to Taishan Peak. Given the temper of Junior Master Aoi and Junior Master Yang Lei, they will definitely not let this matter rest, Feng Yan said. What should we do? Lan Yu was a little anxious. What should we do? Hurry back and report this to Martial Uncle Tang. What the hell is going on? Shi Yunhai muttered. You guys can continue bickering. I'm leaving first. Lan Yu and Huang Qian both got up and left. Today's matter was nothing if it was said to be small, but if it was said to be big then it was very big. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu went directly to the Taishan Hall. He wanted to know Gong Xian's opinion. In front of the Taishan Hall, Night Sorrow got off the Tianyu. When he jumped to the ground, he suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Night Sorrow, are you okay? Sikong Chiyu anxiously supported Night Sorrow. I'm fine. My internal organs were a little shaken. This is blood clot, Night Sorrow said as he wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. What happened to 13? Gong Xian, Wu Qi, Huanan, Aoi and the rest all walked out of the hall. Nothing much. I just accidentally got hurt. Senior brother, can I bring her to Bamboo Forest Peak for a while? Night Sorrow looked at Gong Xian and asked. Of course. Go directly to where I used to live. Bamboo Forest Peak will be your territory in the future. Also, what happened to you? Gong Xian frowned and looked at Night Sorrow. It's nothing. Senior brothers and sisters, I'll bring Chuyu to Bamboo Forest Peak. Night Sorrow bowed to Gong Xian and the rest. Chuyu thanks senior brothers and sisters for taking care of her. Sikong Chuyu also bowed slightly. Then go. Gongxian nodded. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu left. Gongxian's face turned cold. Old 9, you and 11 go and find out where 13 went and where she got hurt. Yang Lei and Emochan nodded and left Taishan Hall. Their first stop was Xiaogu Town. Yang Lei and Night Sorrow parted not long ago at Xiaogu Town. When they arrived at Xiaogu Town, Yang Lei and Emochan stopped Feng Yan, Shi Yunhai and the rest who were about to leave. Do you know what happened to Night Sorrow here? Yang Lei asked. I'm not sure. Feng Yan said softly. He didn't want to hide it for Lin Jingyi, but he didn't want to have any conflicts in Medicine Valley. Not sure? Don't you know that Night Sorrow will vomit blood and have a footprint on his abdomen? Yang Lei roared. Is Martial Uncle Night's injury very serious? Feng Yan asked. Try being kicked in your dantian by a rank 4 cultivator. Shi Yunhai muttered. Who did it? Mo Chen's face was filled with murderous intent. He heard Shi Yunhai's words and knew that Night Sorrow was injured by a rank 4 cultivator. Martial uncles, this is just a small conflict within the sect. Why don't you calm down? Chen Yin said. A small conflict within the sect? As a disciple of Medicine Valley, it's right for you to want to calm down the conflict. However, as Night Sorrow's senior sister and senior brother, we have our own opinions. If someone of the same rank seriously injured Night Sorrow, then we have nothing to say. A rank 4 spirit severing stage cultivator actually dared to attack a Yuan gathering stage disciple. Who was it? Yang Lei asked coldly. What's there to hide? It's wrong to kick in the dantian. If you don't say, then I will. It's Crepe Myrtle's martial uncle Lin Jingyi. Shi Yunhai said directly when he saw Feng Yan and Chen Yin stuttering. 11th junior brother, go back and tell eldest senior brother that I'm going to Crepe Myrtle. Yang Lei said to Mo Chen, and then got on the Green Eagle. She was calm. It was the calmness of extreme anger. I'll go now. Mo Chen rode the golden-winged eagle and flew towards Taishan Hall. This matter was serious. He wanted to accompany Yang Lei to Crepe Myrtle, but he felt that it was important to call for help. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu came to the bamboo house where Gongxian used to live, and started to tidy it up. There were 3 rooms in the bamboo house. Other than the east and west rooms, there was also a living room in the middle. Fortunately, there are 2 rooms. If there was only 1 room, then it would be troublesome. Night Sorrow said with a smile. 1 room? Then you can stay under the roof. Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow with a smile. Hee hee, that's quite ruthless. But I mind. Night Sorrow took out a wine jar, and drank a mouthful of wine. In the future, drink less wine and drink more tea. Sikong Chuyu stared at Night Sorrow. Oh right, are you really okay? I'm really okay. Yi Shang knocked on his chest and abdomen. He was very glad. If he didn't have the myriad Dao treasured book to protect him, Lin Jingyi's kick would have crippled his dantian or severely injured him. You rest for a while. I'll get some water to make tea. Sikong Chuyu smiled at Night Sorrow, and went to the stream in front to get water to make tea. Looking at Sikong Chuyu's swaying figure, Night Sorrow was very satisfied. He liked this feeling very much. Yang Lei went directly to the front of Crepe Myrtle's main hall. Lin Jingyi, get out here. Oh head. Hearing Yang Lei's words, Tang Qianqian's expression changed after hearing Lan Yu and Huang Qian's report. She knew this was going to be troublesome, but she didn't expect it to come so quickly. Junior sister Yang, why are you so angry? We can sit down and talk. Tang Qianqian said. Chapter 206. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Tang Qianqian's expression changed. She knew what the sound of wind and thunder was. It was the sign of the sect's ultimate skill, wind and thunder sword technique. Elder Yang, please calm down. We will definitely resolve this matter. Lan Yu, please ask your martial uncle Lin to come out. Tang Qianqian knew that things were getting troublesome. Lin Jingyi might have caused a big problem. She heard Lan Yu's report just now and knew that Lin Jingyi had gone overboard. She kicked Night Sorrow's dantian without mercy. This was really inexcusable. If 13 doesn't join Crepe Myrtle, you will cripple him? Let's see what kind of explanation you can give me today. Yang Lei said with a cold face. Soon under Lan Yu's lead, Lin Jingyi arrived. You crazy woman. When Yang Lei saw Lin Jingyi, she waved her sword and slashed out. The sound of wind and thunder could be heard as a beam of sword chi flew towards Lin Jingyi. Lin Jingyi's expression changed and she dodged to the side. When the ray of sword chi passed by, a deep black ditch appeared on the bluestone ground in front of the crepe myrtle hall, as if it was struck by lightning. Elder Yang, please don't attack first. Let's talk things over. A few second-generation disciples of crepe myrtle stood in front of Lin Jingyi. There's nothing to talk about. She wants to cripple my junior brother, so I will cripple her. No one can stop me. Get out of my way. Yang Lei waved her black sword and said. At this time, Gong Xian, Wu Qi, Huan Nan and the others had all arrived. Only Emochin was not here. He was sent out by Gong Xian. Number 4 First Peak Master Gong. Tang Qianqian cupped her hands and greeted Gong Xian. Junior sister Tang, I don't want to talk too much about what happened. Lin Jingyi has gone too far in this matter. She directly attacked the Dantian of the Yuan leaderboard's leader with a cultivation of rank 4. This matter can't be justified no matter where you go. Hand him over. Peak Master Gong, junior sister Lin is in the wrong. We can solve it. We can apologize or anything. Tang Qianqian said. No. Call him out. Gong Xian said coldly. Gong Xian, are you trying to show off in crepe myrtle? Yi Xiling appeared. I wouldn't dare. A disciple of crepe myrtle's level 5 spirit separating stage disciple attacked a Taishan Peak's Yuan gathering stage disciple, and even directly attacked his Dantian. Peak Lord Yi, can you teach me how to deal with this? Gong Xian looked at Yi Xiling and said coldly. After hearing Gong Xian's words, Yi Xiling's expression changed. If this was true, then it was serious. Who did you hurt? Yi Xiling asked. She really hoped that it wasn't Night Sorrow. Yang Lei's answer was filled with killing intent, causing Yi Xiling's heart to sink to the bottom. Jingyi, come out. Tell us what happened. Yi Xiling looked at Lin Jingyi, who was blocked by the crepe myrtle's second-generation disciple. Lin Jingyi walked out with her head lowered. After a moment, she straightened her body. They were drinking in Saogu Town's tavern and spoke rudely. That was why I attacked them. I admit that I was too harsh. While Lin Jingyi was speaking, Yu Yangyu and Emochin arrived. Greetings, Valley Master. Yi Xiling and the others all bowed in greeting. There's no need to stand on ceremony. I'm not here as the Valley Master. I'm here as Night Sorrow's master to ask. He spoke rudely? How rudely would that require? As for you, a level 5 spirit separating stage cultivator, kick his Dantian. Yu Yangyu looked at Lin Jingyi. Valley Master, don't you think this is a little too serious? Valley Master has many things to do. We can handle these matters. Yi Xiling's mouth twitched as she spoke. If he can't even be a master, why should he be the Valley Master? If it was Night Sorrow's fault, I would have brought him to Crepe Myrtle to apologize. Now tell us, how did he speak rudely? Yu Yangyu spoke. It's my fault. I shouldn't have attacked Junior Night Sorrow so harshly. Lin Jingyi bowed and said. Just saying you're wrong is enough? I'll give you a chance now. Pick up your weapon and have the courage to attack Night Sorrow. Fight with me. Yang Lei looked coldly at Lin Jingyi. Old Nine, wait a moment. Lin Jingyi, if Night Sorrow spoke rudely, I would have punished him. Why don't you tell us how Night Sorrow spoke rudely? Yu Yangyu asked coldly. Lin Jingyi lowered her head and didn't speak. Can't say anything? Peak Master Yi, is this Crepe Myrtle's style? Deal with it as you see fit. I want the results tomorrow. If you can't satisfy me, you'll have to bear the consequences. All of you go back. Yu Yangyu looked at Yi Xiling and said. Then he waved at his disciples and turned to leave. After Yu Yangyu left with his people, Yi Xiling looked at Lin Jingyi. Jingyi, do you know how serious this matter is? Night Sorrow is so young. Yet he used more than a year to cultivate from having no cultivation base to the peak stage of element gathering tier. He even became the first on the Yuan ranking board with a cultivation base in the middle stage of element gathering tier. The treatment that the Grand Elder of the sect gave to a heaven-grade disciple. And you want to cripple him? Yi Xiling was almost roaring when she said this. Master, disciple knows her mistake, Lin Jingyi said softly. Qianqian, looks like you know the cause of this matter. Tell us, don't try to cover it up. You know that this matter can't be covered up. I believe the Grand Elder will also ask about it. Yi Xiling sighed. She had high hopes for Knight Sorrow, but she didn't expect this to happen. Tang Qianqian asked Lan Yu to come over and tell her the whole story. Good, very good. You don't like him, but would he like you? Tomorrow, go to Taishan Peak and apologize. If the Taishan Peak doesn't accept, you can cripple your own cultivation base and commit suicide. Yi Xiling said coldly. Just as Yi Xiling was speaking, the Grand Elder brought Feng Yan and Shi Yunhai over. I knew something was going to happen. We're too late. The Grand Elder knows? Yi Xiling's expression was very ugly. Yes. Yang Lei and Mo Chen knew that Knight Sorrow was injured, so they went to Xiaogu Town to investigate. These two disciples were stopped by Yang Lei on the spot and told her the details. They were worried that the matter would blow up, so they reported it to me. I heard that Knight Sorrow directly vomited blood at the entrance of Taishan Peak. Xiling, this is too much. The Grand Elder sighed. It seems that Knight Sorrow didn't tell senior brother and senior sister about this matter. If he did, with Yang Lei and Gong Xian's temper, they wouldn't have sent people to Xiaogu Town. This child is good. Qianqian, bring Jingyi to apologize tomorrow. If they don't accept, you know what to do. This bottle of elixir is also given to Knight Sorrow. Yi Xiling sighed and said. Xiling, you have to go too. You know the Valley Master's temper when he protects his disciples. The Grand Elder smiled bitterly. After Knight Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu cleaned up the bamboo hut, they drank tea and chatted. Sikong Chiyu even specially checked on Knight Sorrow's injuries. While the two were chatting, Yu Yangyu and Gong Xian arrived. The others were sent away by Yu Yangyu and didn't come over. Master. Junior Sikong Chiyu greets the Valley Master. Seeing Yu Yangyu, Sikong Chiyu and Knight Sorrow both stood up and bowed. Are your injuries serious? Yu Yangyu looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. I'm fine. My internal organs are a little shaken. Master, you know? Knight Sorrow said with some surprise. If there's anything, just tell me. Crepe Myrtle will come tomorrow to deal with this matter. If the other party knows she's wrong, then let it go. After all, she's a woman. Yu Yangyu said. This disciple understands. Knight Sorrow nodded. Chapter 207. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Thank you, Valley Master. Sikong Chiyu nodded her head. Yes. Sikong Chiyu nodded her head. You're welcome. Yu Yangyu nodded and left after chatting for a while. Knight Sorrow, your master and senior brothers and sisters really cherish you. If I'm not wrong, they've already gone to cause trouble for that woman, Sikong Chiyu said. Sigh. I don't want to cause trouble for master, senior brother, and senior sister. Knight Sorrow sighed. That woman is too arrogant. It's good to teach her a lesson. You haven't told me how you provoked her. Sikong Chiyu was more interested in this. Yi Shang simply recounted his conflict with Crepe Myrtle Peak from beginning to end. Just because you didn't want to join Crepe Myrtle, just because you rejected your master's proposal, she hit you? Sikong Chiyu looked at Knight Sorrow in surprise. Yes. That's embarrassing. I can't beat him, Knight Sorrow said in embarrassment. She has been cultivating longer than you, so it's normal for her cultivation level to be higher than yours. That's good, Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. What? What's good? Knight Sorrow asked. Nothing, then why don't you agree? That woman's cultivation base is very high and she is very beautiful, Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. What does her beauty have to do with me? I don't like her, Knight Sorrow said seriously. Then what do you like? Sikong Chiyu looked at Knight Sorrow with her beautiful smiling eyes. Can we not talk about this? Knight Sorrow blushed. Sikong Chiyu nodded. Knight Sorrow's blushing face had already explained the answer. When they were resting, Knight Sorrow stayed in the east room while Sikong Chiyu stayed in the west room. There was a living room in between. At dawn, when Yi Shang finished his cultivation, Sikong Chiyu also finished washing her face and rinsing her mouth. She also prepared water for Yi Shang to wash his face. I can do it myself. I'm not used to you. Night Sorrow said with embarrassment. You'll get used to it slowly. I don't know how long I'll have to stay here, Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. Is it because you're not used to me here? How about I go somewhere else? There's a bamboo house not far away. Night Sorrow was a little nervous being watched by Sikong Chiyu. It's good. I prefer this kind of life. It's simple, comfortable, and with you by my side. Sikong Chiyu looked at the nervous Night Sorrow. She wanted to laugh. She had seen many young masters, but Night Sorrow was the only one who wanted to avoid her. Without servants or ingredients, the two of them casually cooked some game. Not bad. 13. Add another set of chopsticks. Yang Lei came while the two of them were eating. Night Sorrow got up and added a chair, a bowl and chopsticks. You two have a good life. Tomorrow, I'll arrange for the servants to deliver food every day. He was still very unhappy. I really didn't mean it. I was just angry. I don't know why I kicked him. Lin Jingyi wiped her eyes and said with a choked voice. Okay, that's it. Seeing Lin Jingyi cry, Yu Yangyu directly waved his hand and didn't want to listen to it. Night Sorrow, I hate you to death. Lin Jingyi turned and ran out after saying that. Master, Night Sorrow was speechless. Why did Lin Jingyi say that she hated him again? Yi Xiling also shook her head helplessly. She knew that when Lin Jingyi said that she hated him, she didn't necessarily hate him. After that, the Great Elder and Yu Yangyu grabbed Night Sorrow and lectured him. Yesterday's matter was not right. It would make the conflict worse. If there were any problems in the future, he would have to face it. Yi Xiling took the pill that she gave to Tang Qianqian yesterday and handed it to Night Sorrow. I really like you. Even if I lost face today, it won't change this. If you have time, go to Crepe Myrtle and have tea with me. If those girls bully you again, you don't need your senior brothers or senior sisters. I will help you vent your anger. Thank you, Martial Aunt. I'm really sorry about what happened today, Night Sorrow said apologetically. Chapter 208. A Genius Remembering Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Xiling, our Medicine Valley needs such unreasonable people. Everyone knows about the situation at Taishian Peak. The Valley Master was domineering when he was at Taishian Peak. Now the same spirit still exists at Taishian Peak. If the entire Medicine Valley has the same spirit as the Taishian Peak, then who would dare to strut around in the Medicine Valley? Great Elder said as he knocked his walking stick on the ground. It's because you're strong. You're just a bully. Yi Xiling said as she glanced at Yu Yangyu. You. Great Elder was a little helpless. However, he also understood that the reason for being domineering was because of her personality and her strength. A domineering person without strength would be beaten to a pulp. Night Sorrow, I'm leaving now. Remember my words. Yi Xiling waved at Night Sorrow and left. Gong Xian and the others were helpless. Yi Xiling was determined to poach Yi Xiling to the end. Even if she lost face, she did not give up on this idea. Peak Master Ye's greatest strength is her persistence. No matter what she does, she will never give up easily. This is what you all need to learn. Great Elder said to Gong Xian and the others. Gong Xian and the others nodded. They had indeed seen this point. Night Sorrow, 9th level of Element Gathering Tier. You can't rush from now on. Take it slow. Great Elder said to Night Sorrow. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. Then, Night Sorrow bowed and was about to leave. He still wanted to go back and cultivate. Don't go out during this period. You must attend the celebration of Grand Elder Hua entering the Venerable One realm. Yu Yangyu said. I will congratulate Grand Elder Hua, Yi Diandian said. That's not the case. During the celebration, many sects will come here with their disciples. Sparring is unavoidable. The sect needs you to fight, Yu Yangyu said to Night Sorrow. Eldest senior brother, send someone to inform me when the time comes. I will definitely be there, Night Sorrow said to Gong Xian. Alright, you go back first. I'll arrange for 2 servant disciples to go over later. Gong Xian nodded to Night Sorrow. In the Medicine Valley, or rather in the various forces, he was a disciple who was worth nurturing. They didn't have to worry about trivial matters. They had servants and odd jobs disciples to serve them. Only in this way could they concentrate on cultivating. When he returned to his residence at Bamboo Forest Peak, Night Sorrow saw Sikong Chiyu practicing her swordsmanship. Her body danced like a fairy descending to the mortal world. "You're back. Did you deal with it?" Sikong Chiyu stopped cultivating and asked. "Yes." Not only did she apologize, but she also gave me a bottle of medicinal pills. It should be healing pills. Yi Shang took out the bottle of pills Yi Yiling had given him. He poured out one pill and studied it. Then he confirmed that it was a core fortifying pill for healing injuries. It was a high-grade pill that could be used when one's true energy was unstable due to internal injuries. "I'll give you half." Night Sorrow took out a jade bottle and poured the medicinal pills out. "I have some. When I'm outside, how can my parents and grandfather not give me medicinal pills?" "You take care of yourself," Sikong Chiyu said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and began to cultivate. He cultivated the wind spear art, the killing fist art, and the dragon leap steps together. While performing the dragon leap steps, Night Sorrow slowly integrated the artistic conception of Suiyun body art. The ingenuity of the dragon leap steps was its strangeness, variability, and speed. The artistic conception of Suiyun body art was its elegance and flexibility. These two aspects did not conflict. Sikong Chiyu was stunned for a moment when she saw Night Sorrow cultivating his body art. She also cultivated the dragon leap steps, but it was inferior to Night Sorrow's. In terms of flexibility, there was no way to compare. Moreover, it looked elegant and unrestrained. However, she did not ask. This was considered a personal matter. If it was inconvenient for him to answer, Night Sorrow would be in a difficult position. At noon, some odd-job disciples came over with vegetables, fruits, and other things. Night Sorrow instructed them to help Tianyu roast some food every morning. After that, they could go back. Night Sorrow knew how to cook. When he was living with Father Gu in Bamboo Garden Village, he did it himself. As for roasting food for Tianyu, Night Sorrow felt that it wasn't good to keep feeding Tianyu beast origin pills. If Tianyu liked it, it was better to eat demon beast meat if he had the time. What Night Sorrow hadn't expected was that Sikong Chiyu also knew how to cook. Moreover, his skills were pretty good. However, Sikong Chiyu didn't allow him to drink wine. He could only drink tea. In the blink of an eye, over 20 days passed. Although he didn't use origin-gathering pills to cultivate, Night Sorrow's cultivation base had advanced to the mid-9th level of essence-gathering realm. His myriad Dao Cannon's cultivation base had advanced very quickly. He had already reached the late 6th level of muscle strengthening. Although he wasn't far from the 7th level of muscle strengthening, Night Sorrow stopped cultivating. That was because tomorrow was the day of the celebration for Hua Yunping's advancement to the 6th rank Venerable Realm. Mo Chun and Chu Lingfei had come together to inform Night Sorrow. At noon they had lunch together. Mo Chun wanted to drink wine. Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chiyu. "You should drink when there are guests. I'm saying that you should drink less when you're alone. I'm not forbidding you from drinking." Sikong Chiyu felt a little embarrassed when Night Sorrow looked at him. Mo Chun and Chu Lingfei were also looking at him. 13 Not bad. You know how to be obedient now. Mo Chun smiled. 11th Senior Brother, you're teasing me. Tomorrow is the celebration. What do I have to do? Night Sorrow asked. The celebration, or rather the establishment ceremony. Tomorrow, all the higher-ups of the Medicine Valley will be there. The disciples of the Origin ranking, Alchemy ranking, and Heaven ranking will also be there. There will be some challenges in between, Mo Chun said. Then I'll wait for the arrangement tomorrow. Night Sorrow nodded. Many people will come this time. The Golden Flame sect, the Freedom sect, and the Southern Dipper sect will all send people to watch the ceremony. They are the 3 superpowers. The Fire Tiger sect, the Tai clan of Nanyang City, and the O clan of the Eightley Castle will also come. They are the first-class forces in the territory of the Golden Flame sect, which is similar to our Medicine Valley. But that was in the past. Now they can't compare with our Medicine Valley. In addition, many people from the Qingshui sect will also come. Mo Chun poured wine for Night Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu. They will definitely cause trouble if they come. I'm the one who caused the trouble, Night Sorrow said with a smile. It's none of your business. The Qingshui sect won't make trouble in a day or two. during the celebration. These sects will send their disciples to the stage to compete. To put it bluntly, it's a process of fighting for face and slapping faces, Emo-chan said to Night Sorrow. But my cultivation is too low. I don't think I can do it. Night Sorrow was a little unconfident. What are you afraid of? Soldier against soldier, general against general. Of course, people in the energy gathering realm will compete with people of the same level. I'm the one who's depressed. I won't get any merit points this time. Emo-chan curled his lips and said. What do you mean? Sikong-chiyu asked for Night Sorrow. Why forever G-long free of charge X? Reading novel I. Chapter 209. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Useless. Are you planning to stay in the core condensation realm forever? Chu Lingfei glared at Emo-chan. That's not what I meant. I just feel that it's a pity that I didn't earn merit points. It's a bit troublesome to go out and take on missions to earn merit points. Seeing that Chu Lingfei was a bit angry, Emo-chan hurriedly explained. Then senior brother and big sister Lingfei won't participate? Night Sorrow asked. Yes. Your senior brother and I are in the soul severing stage. It's useless for us to go, so we won't go. Chu Lingfei nodded. Then tomorrow, big sister Lingfei will accompany Chuyu to watch the ceremony. Night Sorrow spoke his mind. Night Sorrow, don't you want me to accompany you? Don't you want me to follow you? Sikong-chiyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow shook his head. There will be many people tomorrow. I'm worried that if I go out, I'll be noticed. You'll be easily discovered if you're by my side. Of course, I want you to accompany me. Okay then. I'll follow big sister Lingfei tomorrow. After hearing Night Sorrow's answer, Sikong-chiyu was very satisfied. After staying for a while, Emo-chan and Chu Lingfei left. After walking for a while, Chu Lingfei turned back to look at Night Sorrow and Sikong-chiyu, who were washing the dishes. She nodded silently. They get along very well. Baidu search love go xiaoshua www.aichux.com. Emo-chan smiled. Originally, I was worried that Sikong's cultivation level and background wouldn't be suitable for 13. In the future, 13 might leave quietly. But now I'm not worried. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow changed into Medicine Valley's tights and left the room. Sikong-chiyu was also ready. Here, put on the outer robe too. Sikong-chiyu put on Night Sorrow's white silk robe with red edges. Night Sorrow nodded. During this period of time, he had learned to accept Sikong-chiyu's kindness. Sikong-chiyu also covered his face with a veil. After pondering for a moment, Night Sorrow removed the hollow jade pendant from his waist and placed it in his bosom. Why didn't you bring it? Sikong-chiyu asked. I'm afraid I'll break it, Night Sorrow said as he patted his chest. Sikong-chiyu smiled. She felt warm in her heart. Night Sorrow didn't say anything heartwarming, but his simple actions showed the most practical things. He ran into Emo-chan and Chu Lingfei as soon as he walked out of the bamboo forest. I'm here to pick you up. In order not to attract attention, Sikong, come with me. Chu Lingfei said with a smile. 13, come with me. You're under a lot of pressure this time. The geniuses of Golden Flame Sect, Su Yuan, Zhan Xie, and the Little Devil of Xiaoyao Sect are all here. I've asked around. They're all said to be invincible at the same level. They're all at the peak of essence gathering stage. Emo-chan said to Night Sorrow. It doesn't matter. After they defeat me, it'll be more appropriate for them to say that they're invincible. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Haha. Well said. I don't think Medicine Valley can beat him. I don't think Lin Tianjue can do it. I wonder if EU from Wuwei Peak can do it. Emo-chan said. Baidu search AI go xiaoshua www.aichux.com. Who's EU? He's very powerful. Is he stronger than Lin Tianjue? Night Sorrow asked. Lin Tianjue. How should I describe him? He's just a piece of shit. EU's combat strength is very strong. He's ranked 10th on the pill ranking and reached it at the 7th level of the core condensation realm. He has very strong combat strength. He's been in seclusion for a long time and has been doing sect missions. He's already at the peak of core condensation realm. That's good. This is the Grand Elder's celebration, the Medicine Valley's establishment ceremony. It'd be a shame if it was destroyed so easily. Night Sorrow and Emochan chatted as they walked. They didn't arrive at Taishan Peak because Gongxian and the others had already set off. Riding on flying beasts, they went straight to the square of the mountain gate. This time, the seats set up in the square were different from those in the past. The Medicine Valley seats were in the front. Some chairs were placed in front of them. Behind them were 12 groups, each with some chairs in front of them. In addition, there were also seats set up in the east, west, and south sides with some chairs. Emochan took Night Sorrow directly to the back of Gongxian. 13th uncle has a seat, but we don't, Chu Ning, who was standing behind the seat, muttered. Then I'll let you sit. Do you want to sit? Yang Lei looked back at Chu Ning and asked. 9th martial aunt, please forgive me. I'm just not awake and talking nonsense. Chu Ning quickly apologized. If there was someone that the third-generation disciples of Taishan Peak feared the most, it would be Yang Lei. Too many people had seen the rattan fried meat. Am I that scary? Junior brother Tao, let's change seats. 13th uncle, am I that scary? Yang Lei pulled Tao Yuan and sat in Tao Yuan's seat. She reached out and wrapped her arms around Night Sorrow's neck. 9th senior sister is the best senior sister, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Ai initial D start ahem. 13th uncle, your words are hurting 6th senior sister's heart. Aoi coughed and said. 6th senior sister, you don't have to say anything. She is Night Sorrow's best senior sister, just like 9th senior sister, Night Sorrow said with a smile. 13th uncle is the best. This is the good wine that 6th senior sister made. If there's a battle later, drink some after it's over. Aoi said as she handed Night Sorrow a jar of wine. 13th uncle, you're too shameless. You drank all of 6th senior sister's good wine. The other senior brothers and I drank less than you in 10 years. Shi Tianlin said as he looked at the jar of wine in Night Sorrow's hand. 8th senior brother, do you want to compare how much 6th senior sister favors 13th senior brother? The result is that you won't have any wine to drink in the future. Yang Lei said with a smile. All right. I didn't say anything, Shi Tianlin said helplessly. How about this? After the ceremony is over, us senior brothers and junior sisters will gather at the little house in the bamboo forest. We'll have a good gathering and drink as much as we want, Aoi said with a smile. Thank you, 6th senior sister, Shi Tianlin and Tao Yuan said with a smile. In the middle of the main seats, Grand Elder and Yu Yangyu sat and chatted. Valley Master, Taishan Peak senior brothers and junior sisters are really close. This is something that other peaks can't compare to. This is also something that I'm proud of. I hope they can maintain this friendship forever. Yu Yangyu smiled. As the master, he was proud of the harmony between his disciples. Don't worry about it. They're all past the age of being competitive. There won't be any conflicts, Grand Elder said with a smile. Yu Yangyu nodded. He was relieved that none of his disciples were greedy. Previously, when he was appointed as the Valley Master of Danding Peak, he asked his disciples if they were willing to follow him to Danding Peak. However, no one went. If they followed Yu Yangyu to Danding Peak, they would have the chance to be groomed as the Valley Master's successor. Everyone knew this, but no one went. Even Night Sorrow didn't want to go. It was clear that no one cared about the status and identity. This made Yu Yangyu happy but also disappointed. Chapter 210. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go/Xiao? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. The Freedom Sect and the Southern Dipper Sect have both sent their elders and direct disciples here. Su Huantian, the Venerable of the Golden Flame Sect, is here to find out the truth, said the first elder. This is a challenge. Su Huantian's cultivation is much stronger than the Supreme Elder, who just entered the Venerable Realm. If the Supreme Elder can withstand it, the Medicine Valley will have no problem, said Yu Yangyu. Supreme Elder Hua has always been very steady and won't take risks. In this area, it's unlikely for Su Huantian to defeat Supreme Elder Hua easily, said the first elder. Yu Yangyu nodded. After Hua Yunpeng advanced, he had been staying at Danding Cliff to stabilize his cultivation and communicate with the 8-Dragon Cauldron. As time went by, almost all the guests had arrived. Then Qianwu walked to the main seat. He was the host today. Qianwu walked to the front of the stage and said, "The celebration for our Grand Supreme Elder entering the Venerable Realm will now begin. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for coming. Grand Supreme Elder Hua will personally thank all of you later." In the area of the Southern Dipper sect, a man stood up and walked to the main seat. He said, "I'm Nanjun Yuan of the Southern Dipper sect. I'm here to congratulate you on the order of the sect master. I'll send you 2 Southly Firestones. Baidu search lovego/xiaoshua www.aichux.com. Thank you for your hospitality, Sect Master Nan." Yu Yangyu stood up and took the gift from Nanjun Yuan. "You're welcome, Valley Master Lu." Nanjun Yuan cupped his hands and left. Nanjun Yuan was the son of the sect master of the Southern Dipper sect. His congratulatory gift was very important. Then people from other forces came forward to present their congratulatory gifts. Everyone knew that the Golden Flame sect and the Medicine Valley would fight. The Medicine Valley's venerable might be suppressed, but what if he wasn't? It wouldn't be a good thing to offend the Medicine Valley, so they had to present their congratulatory gifts. The Fire Tiger sect, the Tai clan of Nanyang City, the O clan of Aitley Castle, and the Green Water sect all sent congratulatory gifts. The master of the Green Water sect, Miao Shuei, came. Though his son's arm was chopped off by Night Sorrow, he still had to present a congratulatory gift. Before the celebration in Medicine Valley, Miao Shuei had gone to the Golden Flame sect. Zhang Tianyi, the deputy chief of the Golden Flame sect, received him and promised him that if he took over the Medicine Valley today, the management of the Medicine Valley area would be handed over to the Qing Shui sect. However, since the Golden Flame sect didn't launch an attack, the Green Water sect didn't dare to act recklessly. Without the support of the Jinyan sect, the Medicine Valley could kill the Qing Shui sect as easily as killing a chicken. The gifts from the Southern Dipper sect and Free and Unfettered sect were received by Yu Yangyu. The gifts from the other families and factions were received by Qian Wu. This was a matter of status. Now that the Medicine Valley had a venerable, it was no longer on the same level as the other first-class factions in the territory of the Golden Flame sect. As the chief of the Medicine Valley, Yu Yangyu didn't need to lower his status. Qian Wu had already shown great respect by accepting the gifts. The factions that came to congratulate the Medicine Valley all presented their gifts. Now only the Golden Flame sect was left. Everyone's eyes fell on the Golden Flame sect. They wanted to see how the Golden Flame sect would deal with the conflict with the Medicine Valley a few days ago. As for the gifts from the Golden Flame sect, wait until your venerable arrives and has the ability to take them. An old man appeared at the front of the seats of the Golden Flame sect. Then he sat on the seat that Zhang Tianyi gave up. "Greetings, Venerable Huantian." The disciples of the Golden Flame sect all bowed. "All right." Yu Yangyu smiled. "I heard that there are many talents in the Medicine Valley. Let us see them. Zhan Ping, go up and see if there are any talents in the energy-gathering realm in the Medicine Valley. If they are mediocre, just kill them. They are useless to keep," Zhang Tianyi said to a young man behind him. "Haha, well said. Vice Sect Leader Zhan is right. If they are mediocre, then there is no need to keep them. Who wants to fight?" Hearing Zhang Tianyi's words, the Great Elder was so angry that he laughed. He shouted to the disciples of the Medicine Valley behind him, "Disciple will fight." Just as Night Sorrow stood up and was about to fight, Feng Yan stood up from behind the Wuwei Peak seats and walked towards the arena in the middle of the square. "Why are you in such a hurry? When we need you, we will call you. These small fries don't need you." Young Lei's right hand, which was wrapped around Night Sorrow's neck, pulled Night Sorrow back to his seat. Night Sorrow nodded. At the same time, he looked towards the Medicine Valley. Then he saw Xikong Chuyu and Chu Lingfei at an inconspicuous spot behind the Danding Peak seats. Seeing Night Sorrow looking over, Xikong Chuyu, who was wearing a veil, nodded slightly. Her beautiful eyes blinked slightly as she signaled to Night Sorrow. Turning around, Night Sorrow's nose twitched. Young Lei was too close to him. Her scent was wafting into his nose. "Little gangster, what are you doing?" Young Lei, who was leaning against Night Sorrow, scolded Night Sorrow in a very low voice. Looking at the people around him, Night Sorrow didn't dare to retort. At this moment, Feng Yan and Zhan Ping were facing each other in the arena. Original song. Fa. What's your rank on the Medicine Valley's Yuan leaderboard? Zhan Ping asked Feng Yan as he drew his long sword from his waist. 7th on the Yuan leaderboard. As for your position in the Golden Flame sect, I'm not interested. Feng Yan said as he waved the battle blade in his hand. Today is a good day. Then, I'll use your blood to dye this festive color. Zhan Ping said as he waved his sword and attacked. Feng Yan waved his blade to block, and the two of them started fighting in the arena. Feng Yan's flaming wind blade technique was swift and fierce. It was very domineering. On the other hand, Zhan Ping's movements were swift and his sword was tricky. Every time he attacked, he would attack Feng Yan's vital points from impossible angles. Feng Yan is a little impatient. If this goes on, he won't have a good chance of winning, Yang Lei said as she looked at the situation in the arena. Knight Sorrow could also tell that Zhan Ping was very cunning. He relied on his quick movements and tricky sword to attack Feng Yan, depleting Feng Yan's qi. The main thing was that Feng Yan's violent blade technique consumed more qi than Zhan Ping's. If this goes on, won't Feng Yan lose? What should we do? Knight Sorrow asked anxiously. There's nothing we can do. This is the arena. The Great Elder and the other party had made it very clear that this is a battle of elimination. Yang Lei said as she looked at the arena coldly. Just as Knight Sorrow was worried, there was a change in the arena. Suddenly, Feng Yan's body stopped. The battle blade in his right hand also stopped attacking. When Feng Yan stopped, Zhan Ping's long sword stabbed into his waist. When Zhan Ping's attack succeeded, it was also the moment when he was in danger. Feng Yan suddenly stretched out his empty left hand and grabbed Zhan Ping's right hand that was holding the sword. Following which he swung the battle blade in his right hand down. Zhan Ping's face changed as he kicked towards Feng Yan's waist. Feng Yan ignored Zhan Ping's kick and swung the battle blade in his right hand downwards. No sound was heard. Everyone only saw a flash of blood as Zhan Ping's right arm was chopped off by Feng Yan. However, Feng Yan was also kicked back a few steps. Chapter 211. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with interesting novels to read. How could Zhan Ping block Feng Yan's attack when he lost his weapon and an arm with blood flowing out? Zhan Ping tried his best to dodge Feng Yan's 2 slashes and turned to run. However, his balance and speed had decreased due to the loss of his arm. Feng Yan caught up to him in an instant. Feng Yan slashed Zhan Ping's back with all his strength and shattered his internal organs. Zhan Ping's body bent backward as he let out a final scream. Then Feng Yan kicked his body out of the arena. After killing Zhan Ping, Feng Yan went to Medicine Valley's side and bowed while ignoring his bleeding waist. Valley Master, Grand Elder, I've killed a mediocre disciple. Very well. A mediocre disciple is useless. Just kill him. Go and treat your wounds. Yu Yangyu waved his hand and threw a pill bottle to Feng Yan. Fire Tiger Sect's disciple, Guanzhongyue, would like to challenge you. A young man from the Fire Tiger sect jumped into the arena. Medicine Valley's disciple, who would like to challenge me? Yu Yangyu asked. He understood the situation today. Fire Tiger sect, Tai family of Nanyang City, O family of Eightley Castle, and Green Water sect would stand on the Golden Flame sect's side to attack Medicine Valley. After all, these forces were affiliated to the Golden Flame sect. They all knew that no matter how the situation developed today, their current decision would not be wrong. Regardless of whether the Medicine Valley's Venerable won or lost, it would not harm their interests. If the Medicine Valley lost, they would have performed well in front of the Golden Flame sect. If the Medicine Valley withstood the attack, they would still have the Golden Flame sect to back them up. Therefore, the leaders of these forces had instructed their disciples to join forces to attack the Medicine Valley. As for the Nanda sect and the Walkabout sect, the Medicine Valley knew about them. Nan's Henyuan had communicated with Yu Yangyu and both sides had formed an alliance. As for the Walkabout sect, it was hard to say. At least they were not enemies. Your disciple is willing to come. Enlightenment stepped forward. He knew of Guanzhongyue. The two of them had crossed paths before. At that time, there was no clear victor. He knew that among the current disciples on the Yuan ranking, other than Knight Sorrow and Lan Yu, no one could defeat Guanzhongyue. Lan Yu was a woman, and Knight Sorrow was not suitable to fight at the moment. Only he was the most suitable. Good. As I said before, there is no need to keep mediocre people alive. Whether they live or die is up to fate, the great elder said. Enlightenment. We fought a year ago. I wonder how you've progressed this year, Guan Zhongyue said, waving his sword. You'll only know after you try. I won't let you down. Keiyong Bijio. Free. Look at the small queue. Some disciples of the Medicine Valley went up and helped Enlightenment, who was leaning on the ground with his long sword down. The Medicine Valley was applauding. Compared to the Medicine Valley, the other areas were silent. Everyone could see that Enlightenment and Guan Zhongyue were on par. However, Enlightenment, who had rich combat experience, knew how to weaken his opponent's ability. In the end, he was the last one to laugh. Nanxing, did you see that? This is the embodiment of combat experience. Many times, the level of cultivation isn't the absolute factor that determines the outcome of a fight. Nanjun Yuan said to a young man beside him. It was his son. Father, I want to go up on the arena, the young man said. Today's battle is not suitable. There must be a meaning to the battle. Nanjun Yuan shook his head. Today wasn't a grand event for fighting. It was a grand event for one side to show off their strength and the other side to embarrass themselves. The Southern Dipper sect couldn't embarrass the Medicine Valley. Of course, they couldn't stand up for the Medicine Valley either. Very well. I don't know if the Medicine Valley dares to fight to the death. After you go up on the arena, don't go down until you die. Tianyi stood up and said. Hearing Tianyi's words, Nanjun Yuan frowned. This was ruthless. They were going to fight to the death with the lives of their disciples. The faces of the people from the Fire Tiger sect, the Tai family of Nanyang City, the O family of Aitley Castle, and the Greenwater sect changed. If the Medicine Valley agreed, then the next battle would be a fight to the death. Those who continued to fight would have to face the endless battles even if they won. Tianyi, are the lives of the disciples of the Golden Flame sect so worthless? The great elder said with a cold face. This is the fate of the cultivators. Why don't you dare? Tianyi sneered and said. Great elder, disciple will pick you up. Lan Yu, who was sitting behind Crepe Myrtle, stood up and walked outside. Knight Sorrow exhaled, reached out and took away Yang Lei's hand on his shoulder, and walked out of his seat. Lan Yu, wait for a moment. Let me do it. Master, great elder, disciple is willing to fight. Knight Sorrow walked out and bowed to Yang Yu. Chapter 212. Genius 1 Second. Remember Love Go/Little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Knight Sorrow stepped down. The great elder looked at Knight Sorrow and growled. At this moment, both sides were competing to see who was more ruthless. The great elder was unwilling to see his disciple lose his life so easily. 13. Yang Yu looked at Knight Sorrow and frowned. He knew what the upcoming battle meant. Master, it is Knight Sorrow's fortune to be your disciple. At the same time, it is also a kind of responsibility. As your disciple, I will not tarnish the reputation of Taishan Peak and Medicine Valley. Great elder, please return to the arena. Disciple apologizes to you. Knight Sorrow walked towards the arena with the reincarnation spear in his hand. Just as the great elder was about to stop him, a figure flashed and appeared. It was Hua Yunpeng in a plain white robe. Let him go. After speaking, Hua Yunpeng glanced at Su Huantian. He swung his robe and sat on the seat in the middle covered with red silk. That was the main seat for today. Will Knight Sorrow be all right? Sikong Chiyu, who was behind Danding Peak, was a little nervous. Since Grand Elder Hua allowed him to go up, he will be fine. Chu Lingfei consoled Sikong Chiyu. Walking to the front of the arena, Knight Sorrow took out 2 sky-piercing grass and stuck them on his waist. He waved the reincarnation spear in his right hand and said, Medicine Valley, Taishan Peak disciple Knight Sorrow. Please enlighten me. Did you see that, Nansheng? Calm and collected. In the face of a life-and-death battle, his heart is still as water. This young man's temperament is worth learning. Love Goblittle, say Wang Chunanjin Yuan educated his son on the spot. O family head, you're O family's disciple. Are you not going to give it a try? Zhang Tianyi looked at 8Li Forzo family head Zhou Zhentian. "Oh Bin, you go and test his strength." Zhou Zhentian hesitated for a moment, and shouted to a disciple behind him. A young man appeared in the O clan's camp along with Zhou Zhentian's words. He held a pair of blades and walked towards the ring. The 8-Mile Forzo family was the same as the Medicine Valley. They were both first-rate forces among the Golden Flame sect's subsidiary forces. They were famous for their drifting cloud saber technique, which was a dual saber technique. It was extremely terrifying. "Please make your move." Knight Sorrow twisted his right wrist, and the reincarnation spear let out a soft hum as the tip of the spear pointed upwards. Obin stomped on the ground and rushed towards Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow's body did not move. The reincarnation spear in his right hand pierced forward. The spear's body was imbued with 20 layers of vibration force. His target was Obin's throat. Fighting with others will consume a lot of energy. You will die of exhaustion. Yang Lei turned around and shouted angrily. "No one is coming? I heard the Golden Flame sect has sent a lot of geniuses and monsters," Knight Sorrow said as he looked at the Golden Flame sect. While Knight Sorrow was speaking, 2 youths from the Golden Flame sect stood up. "Sit down. Tai Clan Master, I heard your clan's Tai Fei is very outstanding. I wonder if he is as strong as this young man?" Zhang Tianyi asked as he looked at the Tai clan. "Tai Zhongyan, go give it a try." The Tai clan master of Nanyang City shouted at the disciple behind him. He did not send out the disciple Zhang Tianyi had mentioned. The disciples with potential in the clan were the future pillars of the clan. The reason he had sent out the other disciples was because he wanted to find out Knight Sorrow's strength. Tai Zhongyan nodded and walked toward the arena. He knew he was cannon fodder, but he had to act appropriately. If he didn't want to be cannon fodder, he had to kill Knight Sorrow. Tai Zhongyan had learned his lesson from his previous opponents. He did not take the initiative to attack. Instead, he stood there with a black iron staff as thick as his arm. "Come. Let's see how strong you are. You are very sad, but this is the life and death arena." After he finished speaking, Knight Sorrow stomped on the ground and turned around. His spear was aimed at Tai Zhongyan's head. "Meet me head on? Come." Tai Zhongyan raised the black iron staff above his head and kicked at Knight Sorrow with his right leg. Knight Sorrow did not pay attention to Tai Zhongyan's kick. He poured the energy of the myriad Dao Tome into his right arm, and increased the strength of his kick. He did not believe that Tai Zhongyan could withstand it. Bang! With a muffled sound, Tai Zhongyan retracted his leg. He could not withstand Knight Sorrow's one-armed spear attack even if he was standing on 2 legs, let alone standing on 1 leg. He was forced to kneel on the ground. Pressing the black iron staff against Tai Zhongyan's chest, Knight Sorrow's reincarnation spear extended and retracted as he took a few steps back. Chapter 213. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Kill as many as you come? You sure talk big. I'm Tai Fei from Nanyang City. Let's see how strong you are. A youth from Nanyang City's Tai family walked towards the stage. Seeing this person, Lan Yu's expression changed. What's wrong? Enlightenment, who had finished bandaging her wounds, asked. 3 months ago, I met him while doing a sect mission. I lost and used my movement technique to escape. He's very strong. Lan Yu said with worry in her eyes. She knew that Knight Sorrow came out early to take the thunder for her. As a disciple of the Medicine Valley's origin ranking, Lan Yu was very clear that at this stage of the essence gathering stage, the lower-ranked disciples should be the vanguard. Knight Sorrow didn't need to come out so early. Knight Sorrow didn't want any disciples of the Medicine Valley to die. Tai Fei's arms shook, and 2-foot-long sharp claws appeared on each of his hands, emitting a cold light. Knight Sorrow waved his left hand, and put on the azure claw gloves. Looking at the weapons, Knight Sorrow knew that Tai Fei was suitable for close combat. You want close combat? Sure, don't say I didn't give you a chance. Knight Sorrow stabbed the reincarnation spear into the ground, then crossed his arms and waved them behind him. His body began to emit energy. 13th uncle, what are you doing? Aren't you using your short hand to attack his long hand? Nangong Dai said anxiously. The opponent is a close combat cultivator. If we fight with a long spear, We won't be able to determine the winner in a short time, and will consume a lot of energy. At this time, any consumption of energy is disadvantageous. Your 13th uncle is very clear. Nan Nan said to his disciple, Nan Gong Dai. At this moment, the battle on the stage had already begun. Knight Sorrow and Tai Fei were fighting each other. Knight Sorrow didn't probe. He had the same thoughts as Nan Nan, which was to end the battle as soon as possible. Using the dragon leap steps that contained the cloud movement technique's concept, Knight Sorrow executed the breaking kill fist and bombarded Tai Fei. Seeing Knight Sorrow's strong attack, Tai Fei retreated and at the same time, his right claw blasted towards Knight Sorrow. Seeing Tai Fei attack, Knight Sorrow's left hand, which was wearing the cerulean claw glove, met Tai Fei's right claw and struck out. Bang! With a muffled sound, their arms collided. After that, Tai Fei's expression changed drastically and he couldn't help but retreat. This was because his true energy was scattered by Knight Sorrow's violent power. Next, Knight Sorrow's true energy was like a wave that slammed into his arm, injuring his tendons and bones. This was the power of Lushan Venerable's famous consummate skill. After injuring Tai Fei with a punch, Knight Sorrow spun around and sent a kick towards Tai Fei. Tai Fei leaned back, his left claw aimed at Knight Sorrow's right leg. In the air, Knight Sorrow's right leg swayed, dodging Tai Fei's left claw and continuing to smash towards Tai Fei's head. Tai Fei's legs shook, and his body retreated rapidly. Zhengji. Everything else /2 steel square root addition I. After a loud explosion, the arena was filled with rubble. Yi Shang, who had missed his kick, quickly rushed forward and threw a punch at Tai Fei with his left hand, which was wearing the azure claw glove. Tai Fei, who was staggering, dodged Knight Sorrow's left fist and stabbed his left claw towards Knight Sorrow's chest. He was going to fight Knight Sorrow to the death. At this moment, Knight Sorrow's left hand hooked back, grabbing Tai Fei's left claw and twisting it. Kacha sounds rang out, giving people a horrifying feeling. That was the sound of bones breaking. At this moment, Tai Fei's right claw was stabbing towards Knight Sorrow's chest. The two were too close. If Knight Sorrow didn't let go of Tai Fei's left hand, he would definitely be injured. If he let go, Tai Fei would still have a chance. Of course, the chance was very slim. In this urgent situation, Knight Sorrow leaned to the side and pulled Tai Fei's left arm. Then he punched Tai Fei's throat with his right hand. Tai Fei was killed with one punch. However, Knight Sorrow didn't manage to escape unscathed. Tai Fei's sharp claw left a few bloody wounds on his left shoulder. Fresh blood dyed his white robe red. He retreated a few steps and looked at Tai Fei, whose body had gone limp. The fourth one. Tai Fei, who had been punched in the throat by Knight Sorrow, obviously had no chance of surviving. Knight Sorrow didn't look at his injured shoulder. He had already used the energy of the myriad Tao Tome to stop the blood from flowing out. It was just an external injury. Knight Sorrow was willing to use an external injury that didn't affect his fighting strength in exchange for a small consumption. Returning to the reincarnation spear, Knight Sorrow took out a jar of wine and drank 2 mouthfuls. He then threw it to the side and said, "Next. 13th uncle, I'll wait for you to come back and drink." Someone didn't let the jar of wine fall to the ground. Feng Yan's body flashed and caught the jar of wine. He didn't care about the wound on his waist and shouted at Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow turned around and looked at Feng Yan. He nodded and grabbed the reincarnation spear again. "Oh Chong, I'm here to challenge you." Another young man from the 8 Mile Castle's O clan stepped forward. "Make your move." Seeing this young man holding a 4-chi-long battle blade, Knight Sorrow knew that this was a ferocious opponent. Knight Sorrow grabbed the reincarnation spear with his right hand and rushed towards O Chong. After going through 4 battles, Knight Sorrow's fighting spirit was boiling. He had a thirst for battle. O Chong waved his battle blade and slashed towards Knight Sorrow's reincarnation spear. He wanted to meet Knight Sorrow head-on. However, Knight Sorrow's arms had a strength of close to 20,000 jin. How could O Chong withstand it? The two exchanged 5 moves and O Chong's head was smashed by Knight Sorrow's reincarnation spear. However, the violent vibration caused Knight Sorrow's shoulder to bleed again. O Chong originally thought that Knight Sorrow's battle prowess would be reduced because he was injured. However, after clashing with him a few times, he knew that this was a mistake. The price he had to pay for this mistake was his life. 13th Uncle's battle prowess is on a completely different level compared to when he was in the sect tournament, Enlightenment said with a smile. Yes. At that time, he was only in the middle stage of element gathering tier. Now he's in the 9th level of element gathering tier. They're on a completely different level. Let them continue to die. Lan Yu said hatefully. Father, how is he so strong? Nan Sheng from the Southern Dipper sect couldn't believe his eyes. In just a few rounds, a cultivator in the 9th level of element gathering tier was killed by Night Sorrow. This was the 5th person. All 5 opponents ended their battles in an extremely short amount of time. The Medicine Valley really has a talent. In a fair battle he's invincible within the same level, Nanjin Yuan said. Indeed. In a fair battle he's invincible within element gathering tier. If it weren't for the later battles he would have won without any losses, Xiao Qingfeng from the Xiaoyao sect said. Haha, you're qualified to be my opponent. I'm Zhan Xie from the Golden Flame sect. A young man in a black robe walked out from the Golden Flame sect. Shameless. He's fought 5 battles in a row and you're saying this? The disciples of the Medicine Valley all started cursing. It was better if Zhan Xie didn't speak, but once he did, it was too unpleasant. Zhan Xie? I killed an unknown disciple from the Golden Flame sect a while ago. I think his name was Zhanpeng. Do you know him? Night Sorrow asked Zhan Xie. You want to die? Today, I'll take revenge for my clan's younger brother. Zhan Xie was enraged after hearing Night Sorrow's words. Chapter 214. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Zhan Xie walked onto the stage and stared at Night Sorrow with his golden eyes. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Zhan Xie wasn't holding a weapon. He raised both his hands and looked at them. These hands of mine have killed many demonic beasts and many cultivators. You will soon be one of them. You should feel honored to be killed by the Golden Flame hands. After speaking, Zhan Xie clenched his fists and golden energy appeared on his fists. The Golden Flame School's ultimate technique, the Golden Flame hands that can shatter gold and shatter stone. Yang Lei stood up. The Golden Flame hands was too famous. It was even more famous than the Medicine Valley's Wind Lightning Sword technique. It was the ultimate technique of the founder of the Golden Flame School. Yang Lei wasn't the only one who stood up. The people of Taishan Peak also stood up nervously. The 2nd generation disciples all knew about the Golden Flame hands. The 3rd generation disciples who didn't know about it also heard Yang Lei's explanation. Master, should we let 13 come down? Aoi asked Yu Yangyu in a low voice. It's not appropriate. Besides, 13 won't come down. Yu Yangyu said in a low voice. His heart was also filled with worry. Night Sorrow glanced at Zhan Xie's golden hands and put down his reincarnation spear. Then I'll experience your so-called Golden Flame hands. Putting down his reincarnation spear, Night Sorrow drew a semicircle with his arms and crossed them in front of his abdomen. Zhan Xie charged forward and punched towards Night Sorrow's chest. Night Sorrow took a step forward and punched out. Night Sorrow's fist was infused with the 6th level of the tendon-strengthening realm's energy from the Myriad Daos treasured tome. At the same time, he used the breaking killing fist. Bang! With a muffled sound, the two separated. Night Sorrow retreated 3 steps and his right fist started to bleed. Zhan Xie's situation wasn't any better. He retreated even more than Night Sorrow. His right fist was also dripping with blood. Both of them had suffered light injuries from this clash. Everyone on the Golden Flame sect's side was shocked. If Night Sorrow's cultivation was at the core condensation stage or higher, then it would be normal for him to take on the Golden Flame hand. Now Night Sorrow's cultivation was the same as Zhan Xie's. Not only had he blocked the Golden Flame hand, but he had also forced Zhan Xie back, causing Zhan Xie's fist to bleed. This overturned their common sense. With a low roar, Night Sorrow charged toward Zhan Xie. His left fist punched toward Zhan Xie's chest. I don't believe you can take a few punches. Zhan Xie's left hand punched towards Night Sorrow again. With a muffled sound, Zhan Xie was knocked back by Night Sorrow's punch. His fist was bleeding again, but Night Sorrow's situation was slightly better. He was wearing the Azure Claw glove on his left hand. Baidu search, AI go female sign shall say www.aichuxs.com. I also want to know how many punches you can take. Knight Sorrow roared. He returned the same words to Jianxia. He closed in and punched Jianxia again. Jianxia also punched out to block. His strongest move was the Golden Flame Hand. If the Golden Flame Hand couldn't force Knight Sorrow back, then he would only lose. Knight Sorrow used the Dragon Leap steps. Both of his fists continuously attacked Jianxia. Jianxia kept retreating, but Knight Sorrow kept suppressing him. In the beginning, he could force Jianxia back a few steps with a punch, but the distance between them kept increasing. By Knight Sorrow's 7th punch, Jianxia had already retreated a dozen steps. AI go shall say W. A dozen steps was nothing in front of Knight Sorrow's Dragon Leap steps. After catching up, Knight Sorrow once again threw out a fierce punch. This time, Jianxia clasped his hands together and blocked Knight Sorrow's fierce punch. However, the golden light on his hands had already dimmed to the point where it was almost invisible. Furthermore, he was forced back 7 or 8 steps. He lost his footing and fell to the ground. Both of their fists were bleeding. Their bones could already be seen. Ignoring the bleeding, Knight Sorrow rushed forward. He arrived in front of Jianxia and raised his left hand to slap down on Jianxia's head. Yes, this was a slap. It wasn't a fist, it was a palm. It was a palm with an energy vortex. The energy vortex was about a foot in diameter. Inside the vortex was red energy. Knight Sorrow wasn't using the killing fist, but the Zhenyu hand. Version caret, asterisk. Jianxia didn't know that Knight Sorrow had changed his move. He still clasped his hands together and attacked upwards. Bang! Knight Sorrow's palm landed solidly on Jianxia's fists. With a muffled sound, flesh and blood flew everywhere. All 10 of Jianxia's fingers were blown away by the energy. All that was left were white bones. His palm was effective. Then Knight Sorrow kicked Jianxia's chest, who was sitting on the ground. The sound of bones breaking could be heard. Jianxia was kicked 3 to 4 feet away. Knight Sorrow quickly caught up with Jianxia. His right hand, which revealed white bones, landed on Jianxia's head. Your Golden Flame sect has the Golden Flame hand, but my Medicine Valley has the Heaven-covering hand. You can die in peace now, Knight Sorrow said coldly. Stop! Seeing that Knight Sorrow was about to kill, Zhang Tianyi spoke up. Just as Zhang Tianyi spoke, Su Huantian moved. His left hand circled the stage, and his right hand pressed down on Knight Sorrow. When Su Huantian made his move, Knight Sorrow couldn't move. His body was suppressed by energy. It could also be said that he was imprisoned. This was the power of the unity of man and nature. When Su Huantian made his move, Hua Yunpeng also moved. His body flashed to the edge of the stage, and his left hand hit the stage. Then he grabbed the air in the direction of Danding Cliff. His right hand hit Su Huantian's palm. When Hua Yunpeng made his move, Knight Sorrow could move. Although it was difficult, he could still move. He grabbed Jianxia with his right hand, and his body landed on the Medicine Valley's side in a few jumps. When Knight Sorrow left, Hua Yunpeng and Su Huantian met. Their palms collided in the air. The energy exploded and the gravel on the stage flew. After the palm, Hua Yunpeng's body was pushed back. He was pushed back to his original position. The ground in front of him was shattered by his steps. You're only SSO. What right do you have to challenge the Golden Flame sect? Su Huantian shouted coldly. He indeed had a great advantage. He only took 2 steps back. Is that so? But the Medicine Valleys will is better to die than to live in dishonor. If you want to fight, then let's fight today. As soon as Hua Yunpeng's voice fell, his left hand, which had been grabbing the air in the direction of Danding Cliff, reacted. A white stripe flew from the direction of Danding Cliff and danced around Hua Yunpeng. Then, Hua Yunpeng hit the direction of the Golden Flame sect. Seeing Hua Yunpeng make his move, Su Huantian's expression changed. He immediately attacked again. If he didn't attack, the Golden Flame sect would suffer a great loss. After another muffled sound, Su Huantian was pushed far away. The sleeve of his right hand was shattered. The originally neat seats of the Golden Flame sect were now in a mess. Some disciples with weaker cultivation had blood on the corners of their mouths. This was caused by the sputtering energy. You want to be a tyrant in the Medicine Valley? You're not qualified. Hua Yinping said coldly as he pushed Su Huantian back. You should know that the Golden Flame sect is not a venerable. Doing this will not benefit you. Hand him and the people in his hands over. Otherwise you'll regret it. Su Huantian looked at Knight Sorrow and Zhang Xia, who was being held by Knight Sorrow. Chapter 215. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Little bastard, you're courting death. Damn you. Seeing that Knight Sorrow had killed Zhang Xia, Su Huantian and Zhang Tianyi were both enraged. Baidu search, AI go female sign shall say www.ai2xs. So they could afford to lose the other disciples, but Zhang Xia couldn't. Zhang Xia was one of the 2 most outstanding disciples of this generation, and would have great achievements in the future. Otherwise, Su Huantian wouldn't have stopped the battle. You guys said that you won't stop until one of us dies. I'm just following your rules. Knight Sorrow released Zhang Xia's corpse and said, You're dead. Zhang Tianyi looked at Yishang with cold eyes. He couldn't wait to kill Yishang. Zhang Xia was his nephew. Hua Yinpeng, is the Medicine Valley really going to break off relations with the Golden Flame sect? Su Huantian asked Hua Yinpeng. We've never said that before. Some time ago, our Medicine Valley told the elders of Golden Flame sect that we're affiliated with Golden Flame sect. We admit it, but we don't allow Golden Flame sect to interfere in the Medicine Valley. Hua Yinpeng looked at Knight Sorrow with satisfaction, then turned his head to look at the illusory sky. It's good that you admit it. Su Huantian pondered for a moment but didn't say anything else. He couldn't defeat Hua Yinpeng today, so there was no point in saying anything else. In addition, the rules of handing over resources should be revised. The Medicine Valley is willing to follow the previous rules, but since Golden Flame sect went too far, we are not pushovers either. Hua Yinpeng sat back in the main seat and said, What do you mean? Su Huantian's eyes twitched. The Qingshui sect is an affiliated force of the Medicine Valley. The resources are handed over to the Medicine Valley. Why did the Jinyan sect accept them? Therefore, the resources that the Medicine Valley gives to the Golden Flame sect will still be calculated according to the competition. If the Medicine Valley can't enter the top 10, we will give you 30%. If the Medicine Valley enters the top 10, we will give you 20%. If the Medicine Valley enters the top 5, we will give you 10%. If the Medicine Valley enters the top 3, the resources will have nothing to do with the Golden Flame sect, Hua Yinpeng said. You guys are pushing your luck. Heaven Spreading Wings coldly snorted. Then what can you do if we don't hand it over? Yu Yangyu stood up. If you guys want to fight, then prepare to receive my attack. Spreading Tianyi pointed at Yu Yangyu and roared. His nephew's death made him furious. Skywings, don't be impatient. Medicine Valley has a venerable one, so of course, we have the capital to renegotiate. Let's do it this way. Hua Yinpeng, I hope the disciples of the Medicine Valley will do well. Let's go. Su Huantian turned around and shouted at the Golden Flame sect. The disciples of the Golden Flame sect left. Knight Sorrow held the reincarnation spear and went to the center of the arena again, because no one announced the end of the challenge. Alright, the celebration ceremony and the competition is an opportunity to learn from each other. Sect leader Lu can let the disciples go back. Nanjun Yuan stood up and said, What do you guys think? What do you think, Elder Xiao? Yu Yangyu cupped his hands at Nanjun Yuan, and then looked at Xiao Qingfeng. The Southern Dipper sect and the Medicine Valley had already formed an alliance. Nanjun Yuan, of course, stood on the side of the Medicine Valley. He didn't want Knight Sorrow to die, but he also didn't want such a talent to fall. I don't have any objections. It's enough. Even if there are more energy-gathering realm cultivators on the arena, they won't be a match for this little guy. Xiao Qingfeng said with a smile. He also admired Knight Sorrow very much. Many people agreed with this point. When Su Huantian asked Hua Yinpeng to hand over Knight Sorrow and Zhang Xia, he didn't necessarily want to kill Knight Sorrow. Instead, he wanted to take Knight Sorrow away. A talent like Knight Sorrow should either be roped in or destroyed. Of course, roping in Knight Sorrow had to be done first. Yu Yongyu looked at Night Sorrow, whose right hand was still dripping with blood, and said, 13 go down. Night Sorrow held the reincarnation spear in his right hand, and cupped his hands in the direction of the Southern Dipper sect and the Freedom sect. Then he walked towards the seats of the Medicine Valley. What welcome Night Sorrow was cheering. The disciples of the Medicine Valley shouted crazily. 6 kills in a single match. Those who were killed were the best among those of the same level. This was the pride of the Medicine Valley. The shouts rose and fell one after another, becoming more and more intense. Night Sorrow walked to the front of the seats of the Medicine Valley. He cupped his hands with his spear and said, "This disciple has not failed his mission. I'm back." Good. Yu Yongyu spat out a word. There were too many feelings in his heart that he couldn't say out loud, so he only said one word. The Great Elder took out a bottle of medicinal pills and threw it to Aoi. Quickly bandage Night Sorrow's wounds. Don't leave any hidden dangers. After returning to his seat and sitting down, many people gathered around Night Sorrow. The top 10 disciples of the Yuan ranking had all come. Aoi helped Night Sorrow take off the azure claw gloves that were stained with blood and flesh. There was blood and flesh of his opponents on it, as well as Night Sorrow's own. After cleaning the wounds, Aoi applied the muscle revitalizing ointment on Night Sorrow's wounds. Then she used a medicinal cloth to bandage Night Sorrow's hands, making them look like bare paws. Next, she treated the wounds on his shoulders that were caused by Tai Fei's sharp claws. Looking at Night Sorrow's wounds that were so deep that his bones could be seen, Yang Lei was a little choked up. These damn people. They were so ruthless. Martial Ant Yang, they were all killed by Martial Ant 13. Chen Yun said with a smile. Killing them doesn't relieve my anger. Yang Lei said hatefully. Martial Ant 13, you said that you would come back to drink with me. I brought the wine. Feng Yan said as he held the wine jar that Night Sorrow had thrown down. Then why aren't you pouring wine? My wounds are the same. Can I still pour wine? Night Sorrow raised his hands that were wrapped in a thick medicinal cloth and said, It's my fault. It's my fault. I'll pour wine right away. Feng Yan smiled as he took out the wine bowl. He pulled the wound on his waist, causing him to grimace in pain. Then, Lan Yu picked up the wine jar and poured wine for Feng Yan, Night Sorrow and the others. Thank you, Martial Ant 13. Don't say that. Didn't I come back alive? Night Sorrow smiled and drank the wine in one gulp. First release of W6 kills in a match. Other than Martial Ant 13, no one else can do this. Let's drink. Enlightenment held out the wine bowl to Lan Yu. While they were chatting, the celebration ended. The people of Golden Flame sect had left, so the core condensation and spirit-severing stage battles were meaningless. To Medicine Valley, the celebration this time was very successful. Night Sorrow was domineering in the arena. He consecutively killed the Origin Gathering stage cultivators of Golden Flame sect, bringing glory to Medicine Valley. Hua Yinpeng was the same. He didn't fall behind when he fought against the veteran honorable stage cultivators. Hua Yinpeng, Yu Yongyu, and the First Elder all went to Night Sorrow's side. Are you alright, 13? Yu Yongyu asked. My injuries are fine. It's a pity that I have to wear this robe. Night Sorrow said as he looked at his top-grade silk robe with a little heartache. Night Sorrow's words made many people turn their heads. They didn't know how to describe Night Sorrow. Yu Yongyu couldn't continue his words. 13, you have to work hard. We still need you in the upcoming resource battle. That guy called Su Yuan is the most outstanding disciple of Golden Flame sect. He's the grandson of Golden Flame sect's leader, the First Elder said. Night Sorrow nodded. He then looked towards Danding Peak's seats and realized that Sikong Chuyu had already left. After bidding farewell to Hua Yinpeng, Yu Yongyu, and the First Elder, Night Sorrow cupped his hands to the disciples on the Yuan ranking and left on the Tianyu. Not far from the Taishan Hall, Night Sorrow saw Sikong Chuyu. After letting the Tianyu land, Night Sorrow went to Sikong Chuyu. Chapter 216. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go/Little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. It doesn't hurt, Chuyu, don't cry. Night Sorrow lifted his hands that were wrapped in gauze and helped Sikong Chuyu wipe her tears. You don't know how to care for yourself at all. Sikongchiyu said as she wiped the tears on her cheeks. Looking at the weeping Sikongchiyu, Knight Sorrow stretched out his arms and hugged Sikongchiyu. I will be more careful in the future. Sikongchiyu struggled for a moment before she stopped moving and leaned on Knight Sorrow. The two didn't move for a long time before separating. Sikongchiyu's face was flushed red. I'm sorry, I was a little impulsive just now. Knight Sorrow lowered his head, worried that Sikongchiyu would get angry. Okay, let's go back. How about we walk back? Sikongchiyu looked at the somewhat reserved Knight Sorrow and asked. Knight Sorrow nodded and walked side by side with Sikongchiyu towards the bamboo forest peak. After returning to the bamboo forest peak, Sikongchiyu fetched some clean water and helped Knight Sorrow clean up. He also helped Knight Sorrow change into a clean robe and helped Knight Sorrow put on the jade pendant again. After helping Knight Sorrow clean up, the two went to the courtyard in front of the bamboo house to make tea. Knight Sorrow, you can't not cherish yourself. They are all crockery while you are jade. Sikongchiyu poured a cup of tea for Knight Sorrow and said, Square root head hair %+, I will be more careful in the future. In fact, I am also a rotten crockery. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. What are you talking about? If something happens to you, then what's the point of me coming to the eastern Xian region? Sikongchiyu slammed the teacup on the table. Knight Sorrow looked at Sikongchiyu in surprise. At this moment, he understood Sikongchiyu's intentions. After he finished speaking, Sikongchiyu turned around. Firstly, he was angry with Knight Sorrow's words. Secondly, he was embarrassed that he had said something that he shouldn't have. In the evening, Aoi came over. You two seem to be having a good time. 13, are you okay? Don't worry, I'll be fine in 2 or 3 days, Knight Sorrow said. It's like this. Nans Henyuan and Nanxing from the Nanda sect came to Taishan Peak to visit you. Eldest senior brother asked me to come and see if it's convenient for you, Aoi said. Since they are here, it would be impolite not to see them. You wait for me here. It's been chaotic these 2 days. It won't be good if people see you, Knight Sorrow said. After hearing Knight Sorrow's words, Sikongchiyu smiled and nodded. She understood that it wasn't that Knight Sorrow didn't want to take her with him. He was worried about her safety and treasured her very much. Sikong, don't worry. I'll return you a complete 13 later. Aoi smiled and nodded at Sikongchiyu. Sitting on Aoi's azure eagle, Knight Sorrow arrived at the side hall next to the Taishan main hall. The main hall was the place to deal with the matters of the peak. It was very formal and formal. The side hall was much more casual. Usually, the elders would come here to drink tea and chat. It was also the place to receive guests. After entering the side hall, Knight Sorrow saw Gongxian, Wuxia, and Yang Lei talking with Nans Henyuan, Nanxing, and 2 other members of the Nanda sect. 13, let me introduce you. This is the Nans Henyuan Hall Master of the Nanda sect's 7 Stars Hall. This is young Master Nanxing. Gongxian stood up and introduced them to Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow greets Hall Master Nanxing and young Master Nanxing. Knight Sorrow bowed to Nans Henyuan, and then cupped his fists to Nanxing. No need to be so polite. How are your injuries? Nans Henyuan asked with a smile. It's just a minor injury. Thank you for your concern, Hall Master Nanxing. Knight Sorrow nodded. I'm Nanxing. I admire you very much. I originally wanted to spar with you, but I feel like I'm too weak. I'll go back and practice first. Nanxing cupped his fists to Knight Sorrow. Young Master Nanxing is too humble. Knight Sorrow shook his head. Let's sit down and chat. Yang Lei pointed to the seat beside her to Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow nodded and sat down. There are venerables and talents. It's only a matter of time before the Medicine Valley rises. Nans Henyuan smiled. It's just that the Golden Flame sect is too aggressive. Our Medicine Valley has always stood aloof from worldly affairs, but things don't go as we wish. Gongxian said. Indeed. The Golden Flame sect is too arrogant. Their disciples are even worse. Some time ago, they provoked my niece. This matter isn't over yet. My father is very angry, and so are the elders of my family. Nans Henyuan said. Gongxian could understand. The disciples of the Golden Flame sect were indeed arrogant. They even dared to provoke the young master of the Nanda sect. Their courage was not ordinary. After that, everyone ate together. Night Sorrow's bare paws were inconvenient, so Yang Lei took care of her. Night Sorrow, if you have time, come to our Nanda sect. I'll show you around, Nansheng said. Nansheng said. He had a good impression of Yi Shang. Mainly because Yi Shang was strong, but he was very easygoing. Okay, I'll definitely go when I have time. Night Sorrow nodded. At that time, there will be many people who want to spar with you. My cousins all like to spar with each other. Just don't provoke my cousin. Our generation is no match for her. She also likes to torture people, Nansheng said with a smile. Is it the genius of the Nanda sect, Nan Liyue? Yang Lei asked. Liyue is indeed the most outstanding disciple of the Nanda sect in the past few hundred years. My father and the elders of my family all dote on her. Otherwise, they wouldn't have declared war on the Golden Flame sect. Nan Jinyuan smiled. No wonder. The Golden Flame sect is indeed blind, Yang Lei said with a smile. After eating, Nan Jinyuan, Nansheng, and the others left. Ninth senior sister, is Nan Liyue very powerful? Night Sorrow asked. Not very powerful, but very powerful. She entered the essence gathering realm at 12, and the core condensation realm at 14. What do you think? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and smiled. She is indeed powerful. Night Sorrow nodded. Not only does she cultivate fast, but her combat strength is also very strong. It's said that she has the Nanli fire body. She can cultivate the Nanli fire chi refining technique with half the effort. She also successfully cultivated the Nanli fire sword technique, which is the consummate skill of the Nanda sect. Yang Lei explained Nan Liyue's achievements to Night Sorrow. She's Nansheng's cousin. She can't be that old. It's really amazing that she can reach this level. Night Sorrow nodded. Don't just look at other people's strengths. Are you weak? Today's 6-kill battle will soon spread. Your fame is not less than hers. It's just that you cultivated for a shorter time than her. Yang Lei said. I will cultivate hard and enter the core condensation realm as soon as possible. Night Sorrow said. Nan Liyue's achievements didn't hurt Night Sorrow. Instead, it aroused his fighting spirit. In the Danding Peak Hall, Hua Yunpeng, Yu Yangyu, and the elders were discussing the future development of the Medicine Valley. Then, an elder suggested how to arrange Yi Shan's reward. Chapter 217. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. This little guy can't be overdone. Thanks to him, it would have been difficult for the others to win a single match, let alone a combo. Especially Zhang Xie. Love go little say, Chu Hua Yinping said. That's right. If not for Night Sorrow, the Golden Flame sect, the Fire Tiger sect, the O family and the Green Water sect would have continuously sent their disciples to the arena. The number of disciples on the Yuan roll would have been endless, Qianwu said with a nod. The Medicine Valley can't be stingy with him since he was willing to risk his life for the sect. When he took back the Holy Cauldron scripture, I said that the sect would give him whatever he needed. However, there has to be substantial arrangements, the great elder said with a nod. He's not the kind of disciple who would make requests for himself. He would make requests for his senior brothers and sisters. How about this? He's the Valley Master's disciple. It's not convenient for the Valley Master to deal with such matters. Great Elder, arrange for the Merit Hall to make a set of claw gloves with the best materials, Hua Yunping said and made arrangements. Valley Master, you've accepted a good disciple. If you hadn't gone to the disciple recruitment ceremony last year, this disciple might have been mine, Yen Beibei said as he glanced at Yu Yangyu. That's possible. Love go little say, Chu Yu Yangyu said with a smile. He knew that a disciple like Night Sorrow wouldn't be missed based on his cultivation level and temperament. Grand Elder, we Crepe Myrtle are all women and lack masculinity. Why don't we send Night Sorrow to Crepe Myrtle? Yi Xiling asked. The Great Elder glanced at Yi Xiling and smiled. Xiling, the Valley Master brought him to Danding Peak. He would rather waste time coming here to pay his respects than leave Danding Peak. Do you think he can go there? Only one genuine R%. All the other R% are square root J. That's right. Your disciple almost crippled him. He even called him a hooligan. If he kicks him again, he'll be done for, Duanlei of Cloud Sea Peak said. Duanlei, are you trying to undermine me? Jingyi knows that she's wrong. Jingyi is an outstanding female disciple in our Medicine Valley. It's normal for her to be a little bit of a temper. Besides, if she didn't feel anything, she wouldn't be so angry, Yi Xiling said. Let's not talk about this. Everyone turned their heads to look, but they didn't see Su Qinbai. Valley Master, how do you plan to deal with this? Hua Yunyang looked at Yu Yangyu. There's no point in keeping him here. Duanlei North Pole, you two go and bring him back. If he resists, kill him on the spot, Yu Yangyu ordered. After receiving the order, Duanlei and Yan Bei left the hall to look for Su Qinbai. Did he run away? I haven't even seen that kid Su Mu in a long time, Lu Qinyun said. No one uttered a sound. They all felt that this was a possibility. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao say www.aitrixit.com. Let Duanlei and Beifeng handle this matter. Also make sure the Southern Dipper sect and the Free and Unfettered sect receive them well. We're separated by the Golden Flame sect, so we won't be enemies. An enemy's enemy is a friend, Yu Yangyu said. When Night Sorrow returned to the bamboo forest peak, the sky was already filled with stars. Under the starlight, Sikong Chiyu stood next to the bamboo in front of the house, wearing a white dress. Chiyu, why are you out here? It's so windy at night. Seeing Sikong Chiyu, Night Sorrow took 2 steps forward and struggled to take off his outer robe and put it on Sikong Chiyu. I just wanted to wait for you to come back. Sikong Chiyu smiled and looked at Night Sorrow. Don't be so silly. I'm not a child. You've been waiting for a long time, haven't you? Night Sorrow wiped off Sikong Chiyu's hair and held Sikong Chiyu's hand with a bandaged hand as they returned to the bamboo house. I used to think that waiting was a painful thing, but when I really experienced it, I realized that it wasn't. Waiting is actually a very steady and real feeling, Sikong Chiyu said. Night Sorrow stretched out his hands across the table and held Sikong Chiyu's hand. No matter what, you have to take care of yourself. I won't talk to you anymore. I'm going to cultivate. Being held by Night Sorrow, Sikong Chiyu was a little embarrassed. When Sikong Chiyu went to cultivate, Night Sorrow didn't stay idle either. He also returned to his room to cultivate. Now that Night Sorrow cultivated, he completely gave up on the soul-gathering pill, and only ate the leopard muscle-strengthening pill. Night Sorrow's true chi cultivation was stable and solid. He wanted to prepare for entering the core condensation stage. But he didn't need the Myriad Dao Treasured Book. Now his Myriad Dao Treasured Book was officially developing rapidly. When cultivating, the Myriad Dao Treasured Book's energy flowed to his hands. Night Sorrow felt pain at first. Then it became a smooth and comfortable feeling. This was a sign that the tendons in his hands weren't damaged. When the human body was injured, flesh wounds were superficial. If the tendons and bones were damaged, it would be troublesome. Night Sorrow's tendons had already been strengthened. So when he clashed with Zhang Xia, although his flesh was badly mangled and his bones were exposed, his tendons and bones weren't damaged. Time passed very quickly as he cultivated. The night passed very quickly. Night Sorrow couldn't practice his fist or spear, so he cultivated his movement technique, and then sat in the courtyard to rest. Come and wipe your face. Sikong Chiyu finished washing up and came over with a basin and a towel. No need. I should be able to take off the medicine in the afternoon. Night Sorrow saw Sikong Chiyu come over with a towel, and quickly took 2 steps back. Why are you running? Sikong Chiyu looked at the nervous Night Sorrow and said with a smile. There's really no need. Night Sorrow shook his head and said, Then let me ask you something. If my hands were injured, wouldn't you care about me? Wouldn't you care if I washed my face or combed my hair? Sikong Chiyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked, I won't let you get hurt. I will stand in front of you, Night Sorrow said. That's right. If you can stand in front of me, then what's wrong with me taking care of you? Sikong Chiyu walked to Night Sorrow's side and pressed Night Sorrow into a chair. Then he took a towel and wiped Night Sorrow's face. Then he combed Night Sorrow's hair and tied it into a bun. Thank you, Chiyu. I haven't done this before. Night Sorrow's hair used to be tied with a thin string at the back of his head, and had never been combed. Very spirited. Not bad. Sikong Chiyu circled Night Sorrow and said, "All right. If you say I'm not bad, then I'm not bad." Night Sorrow nodded. While the two were talking, the servants arrived. There were also two third-generation female disciples. 13th Martial Uncle, 9th Martial Aunt said you were injured and asked us to serve you. The two third-generation disciples said. At the same time, their eyes were looking at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was their idol. After joining the sect for a little over a year, he became the newcomer king and first on the Yuan leaderboard. Both were incredible achievements. Yesterday he had domineeringly killed 6 people in a row in the arena. Now that they had a chance to get close to him, they naturally wanted to take a look. Chapter 218. Geniuses remember love in 1 second go? We will provide you with wonderful novels to read. There's really no need. You should focus on cultivation. Go back. Night Sorrow waved his bandaged hand. The two female disciples were unwilling, but they still went back. Young Lei's words were in order, and so was Night Sorrow's. Not bad. You won't move in front of a beauty, Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. Chiyu, you're attacking me again. Am I not moving in front of you? Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chiyu and said. Sikong Chiyu looked at Night Sorrow and didn't say anything. In the afternoon, Sikong Chiyu changed Night Sorrow's bandages. He saw that Night Sorrow's hands had scabbed over, and the scabs were about to fall off. Sikong Chiyu was shocked. In less than 2 days, he had recovered to this extent. It was really amazing. However, Sikong Chiyu still insisted that he bandaged Night Sorrow again after applying the medicine. Night Sorrow didn't object and did as Sikong Chiyu said. In the evening, Yu Yangyu and the Great Elder came to Night Sorrow's residence. How do you feel? Yu Yangyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'm almost healed. Chuyu thinks that I still need to bandage for a day, Night Sorrow said. Yu Yangyu nodded and told Night Sorrow to be careful. Su Chenbai had disappeared. They didn't know if he had left or if he had gone into hiding. After leaving 2 bottles of medicine for Night Sorrow, the Great Elder and Yu Yangyu left. At the same time, they told Night Sorrow to go to the Merit Hall to get any elixirs he needed. They didn't tell Night Sorrow that Hua Yunpeng had also arrived at Taixian Peak. If the Golden Flame sect wanted to attack the Medicine Valley, the target would probably be Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was not only the pillar of the Medicine Valley, but also the signboard of the Medicine Valley. After the two left, the bamboo forest peak didn't quiet down. Lan Yu, Enlightenment, Feng Yan, Chen Yun, and Shi Yunhai all came. Some brought wine, some food. Chen Yun and Shi Yunhai carried a roasted elk. However, Sikong Chiyu had already left. She had left before they arrived. It didn't matter if Lu Yangyu, the first elder, and the others saw it, but if others saw it, it would be easy to leak it. Not bad, it's roasted well. Looking at the fragrant elk, Night Sorrow said with a smile. At the same time, he asked Feng Yan to cut off a piece of the elk with a small knife. 13th Uncle, you're leaving a little behind so you can slowly destroy it? This means that the odd job disciples aren't doing very well. You need people here. Baidu search Love Go Xiaoshua www.aichux.com. Shi Yunhai said. Night Sorrow shook his head. They're all good. I like peace and quiet, so I let them go back early. You don't understand 13th Uncle's realm. Of course I don't either. 13th Uncle, Martial Aunt Jingyi asked me to apologize to you on her behalf. I'm not speaking for her. That day, she really wanted to vent her anger. Attacking your Dantian was absolutely unintentional. Lan Yu said. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded. I believe that. Let's forget about the past, but her temper. Women all have bad tempers, Feng Yan said as he poured the wine. Feng Yan, are you looking for trouble? If you're looking for trouble, just say it. Hearing Feng Yan's words, Lan Yu slammed the table and roared. What are you saying? How would I dare to look for trouble with senior sister Lan Yu? It's just a slip of the tongue. Feng Yan smiled apologetically. But it's strange. Martial Aunt Jingyi usually has a good temper. Us martial sisters are always willing to ask her for help when we have cultivation problems. I really don't understand this time. Lan Yu shook her head and said. This time, I made her lose face. I also feel bad. Night Sorrow said. These were his heartfelt words. At that time he was very angry. But after that he calmed down. Night Sorrow's hands were not convenient, but he could hold the wine bowl with both hands. Lan Yu and the rest also cut the deer meat into small pieces for Night Sorrow to hold a small knife with both hands and eat. The few of them drank for a while before leaving. Although they didn't say anything, they were very grateful to Night Sorrow for standing up at the crucial moment and saving them from death. After everyone left, Sikong Chiyu came back from outside. Chiyu, I left some meat for you. I also have the 100 herbs wine that 6th senior sister gave me. You should eat some too, Night Sorrow said. All right. I don't like to drink. Since the meat was left by you and there's good wine, then I'll have to try it. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Sikong Chiyu was very happy. After all, Night Sorrow had always been thinking about her. When cultivating at night, Night Sorrow once again focused on strengthening his hands with the myriad Tao Tome's energy. When the sun rose, Night Sorrow came out of the room and sat in the courtyard. He used his mouth to bite open the medicine cloth and opened it. As the medicine cloth was opened, the scabs on Night Sorrow's hands all fell off. Not only did it not leave any scars, it even looked smooth and flexible. He clenched his hands hard, and his knuckles made cracking sounds. Sikong Chiyu came over with a basin of water and looked at Night Sorrow's hands. He said, You've recovered well. Your hands are also white and tender. There are no scars. I feel that my hands are stronger than before. Night Sorrow took the basin and towel and washed up. Could it be because you absorbed the energy from the healing medicine? Don't tell me you still want to do it? Sikong Chiyu looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. You're thinking too much. I don't have any thoughts of self-abuse. Maybe it's because I used energy to heal my hands these 2 days. I'll know after a few more days. Night Sorrow looked at the nervous Sikong Chiyu and said with a smile. After his hands recovered, Night Sorrow began to practice his fist and spear arts. Night Sorrow discovered his own weakness. The chasing wind spear art was not suitable for close combat. If he wanted to be powerful in close combat, he had to increase his speed so that his opponent would not have the chance to get close. If he moved his arms too slowly, Night Sorrow's arms would tremble and control the reincarnation spear's attack trajectory. He would change the reincarnation spear's trajectory in the shortest time possible to prevent his opponent from getting close. After cultivating for a while, when Night Sorrow was wiping his sweat and drinking water, Sikong Chiyu gave his opinion to Night Sorrow. He said that Night Sorrow did not do enough to coordinate his footwork and spear arts. He should apply the energy from his spear arts to his footwork. When he retracted his spear, he retracted his arms and pushed his body forward. His feet could move forward diagonally. When he attacked with his spear, he could use the recoil force to retreat. This way his spear arts and footwork would be more coordinated. After listening to Sikong Chiyu's words, Night Sorrow continued to practice his spear arts. Cultivating according to Sikong Chiyu's advice, he felt that the results were indeed very good. Naturally, he borrowed the force from the force exerted by the reincarnation spear, and transferred the reaction force to his feet. His body movement was indeed much smoother. Original. V first carat release Night Sorrow cultivated until night time. When Night Sorrow was still cultivating, Emochin came over and said that someone wanted to see him. It was Tianji Tower's law enforcer Dong. Isn't law enforcer Dong overseeing Tianji Tower? Why would he come to Taixian Peak? Night Sorrow was somewhat puzzled. I don't know. He said that he wants to see you. Emochin shook his head. Chapter 219. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. What could have happened? Night Sorrow put away his reincarnation spear. Tianji Tower is well informed. You've accumulated quite a lot of experience during this period of time. You may get a higher level of attention. Go take a look. Sikong Chiyu said. Okay, I'll go take a look. Chiyu, are you not going? Night Sorrow asked. After all, Enforcer Dong had some connections with Sikong Chiyu. Not meeting. I came here this time because I want to be safe and steady. I don't want to meet anyone. Sikong Chiyu shook her head. She wanted to avoid all unsafe factors. All right. Knight Sorrow nodded. He also agreed with Sikong Chiyu's point of view. Enforcer Dong was reliable. After all, the fewer people who knew about it, the safer it would be. In the side hall of Taixian Peak, Gong Xian and Enforcer Dong were chatting casually. As the person in charge of Tianji Tower's Danding City, Gong Xian had to take him seriously. Seeing Knight Sorrow's arrival, Enforcer Dong nodded with a smile. Gong Xian looked at Knight Sorrow. 13. Has your hand recovered? I'm fine. Thank you for your concern, senior brother. Knight Sorrow nodded. All right, Enforcer Dong. You guys go ahead and chat. Gong Xian cupped his hands toward Enforcer Dong and left the side hall. The matter between Tianji Tower and Knight Sorrow was an internal matter of Tianji Tower. Perhaps it was not suitable for him to know, so he left, and so did the others. Love Go Little Say K the only 1K version, everyone else is hashtag Pirate Sky. Good, very good. The higher-ups know about your matter. Someone will come in a few days. They asked me to inform you. I don't know the specific situation, Enforcer Dong said. When do you need me to go to Danding City? Knight Sorrow asked. I don't think he'll be here tomorrow. It won't be so soon. The day after tomorrow. Go to Danding City the day after tomorrow and find a convenient place so that I can find you anytime. Enforcer Dong said to Knight Sorrow. All right, I'll go to my 9th senior sister's mansion the day after tomorrow, which is the City Lord's mansion. If there's anything, just send someone there to inform me, Knight Sorrow said. Okay, this time you have a high chance of entering the blacklist. The people you defeated that day all received the Tianji Tower's attention. Tai Fei has a red list and has a chance to enter the purple list. That Zhan Xie has a purple list. You were able to kill Zhan Xie after 5 consecutive battles. This is a reflection of your strength. Enforcer Dong said with a smile. It would be best if he could enter the black circle. Knight Sorrow nodded. He was not as anxious as before because Sikong Chiyu was safe and sound by his side. After chatting with Knight Sorrow for a while, Enforcer Dong left. He was only here to deliver a message. As for Knight Sorrow's matter, he couldn't make the decision. His highest authority was to raise the red list. He still needed to be investigated and reviewed by the higher-ups. After Knight Sorrow sent Enforcer Dong off, he didn't see Gong Xian and the others. He directly drove Tianyu back to Bamboo Forest Peak. I just made tea. Come. Sikong Chiyu said as he poured a cup of tea for Knight Sorrow when he saw Knight Sorrow coming back. Thank you. Knight Sorrow took a sip of the tea and told him what Enforcer Dong had told him. Someone from the higher-ups. That means you should enter the blacklist. Under normal circumstances, the higher-ups of Tianji Tower won't easily come into contact with ordinary people. The red list doesn't qualify, and the purple list doesn't have a high chance of being seen, Sikong Chiyu said. Chiyu, what level of attention did you have when you were recruited into Tianji Tower? Knight Sorrow asked. Before I entered the 4th stage, I was a purple list. After entering the spirit severing stage, I was promoted to the black list and was then recruited into Tianji Tower. Sikong Chiyu didn't hide anything from Knight Sorrow and directly told him about his situation. Knight Sorrow nodded. I'll be going to Danding City the day after tomorrow. I won't be able to accompany you. It's okay. I'm quite comfortable here. I also need to sort out what I've learned in the past. Sikong Chiyu nodded. Knight Sorrow nodded and went to cultivate. When it was almost dawn, he found that his cultivation of the myriad Tao Tome had reached a bottleneck. It was the bottleneck of level 6 muscle strengthening. After eating some food, Knight Sorrow explained the situation to Sikong Chiyu, and then went into seclusion to break through. He knew that the stronger he was, the more likely he would be able to obtain the approval of Tianji Tower. To enter level 7 muscle strengthening, he had to strengthen the tendons in his waist and connect the dragon tendons to his legs. Knight Sorrow wasn't worried about this. He had accumulated a lot of experience from his previous breakthroughs. This kind of breakthrough was just a bit more difficult to endure. Knight Sorrow controlled the dragon tendons and the energy in his legs to strengthen the tendons in his waist. Although it was very painful, Night Sorrow could endure it. After 4 hours, Night Sorrow successfully strengthened the tendons in his waist. From then on, the dragon tendons and the tendons in his legs were connected through the strengthened tendons in his waist. The strength in his legs increased by a lot. Congratulations, Sikong Chiyu said as he watched Night Sorrow walk out of his room in high spirits. Thank you. Night Sorrow nodded. His heart was warm. In the past, people had congratulated him, but it had never been as intense as this time. Why are you being so courteous with me? Sikong Chiyu asked with a smile. Yes. I really like the feeling of being able to see you by my side when I'm done cultivating. Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chiyu. Drink some water first. In truth, I also like this kind of quiet feeling. Sikong Chiyu ran his fingers through his hair. I've always been worried that since you came from a big family, you might not be used to this place. Hearing your words, I'm relieved. Night Sorrow said. You're overthinking it. Sikong Chiyu shook his head. The two of them then walked around the bamboo forest, sat in the bamboo forest, and watched the sunset. Then they returned to the bamboo hut to get something to eat. After eating, Night Sorrow sat in front of the bamboo hut and fell into deep thought. He wanted to be with Sikong Chiyu, but there were many difficulties. First of all, he had to obtain the approval of the Sikong clan. This was difficult to pass. After all, the Sikong clan was second to none in the Qingtian region. The marriage conditions of the clan's women were also very harsh. Night Sorrow, what are you thinking about? Sikong Chiyu looked at Night Sorrow, who was deep in thought. I want to be with you. I want to know what I need to do. Night Sorrow looked up at Night Sorrow and asked very seriously. Sikong Chiyu looked at Night Sorrow in shock. She didn't expect Night Sorrow to suddenly ask this question. She didn't know how to answer because Night Sorrow asked it in a very formal manner. Yes, it's a little abrupt. Night Sorrow hurriedly explained when he saw Sikong Chiyu's shock. It's not like that. I haven't thought of this problem yet. Sikong Chiyu saw Night Sorrow's eyes suddenly darken and explained. I know. I'll work hard. Night Sorrow waved his hand. Okay, let's work hard together. Sikong Chiyu reached out and held Night Sorrow's hand. Chapter 220. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go/Small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. That night, Night Sorrow was very enthusiastic about training. After waking up in the morning, he went to train his improved spear art. His arms trembled to change the trajectory of his spear art. Combined with his body movement, his spear art was already suitable for close combat. After training for a while, Night Sorrow stopped and ate the dishes made by Sikong Chiyu. You feel different? Sikong Chiyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. There's nothing different. Let's eat. Eat more. You eat so little every meal. Night Sorrow said as he picked up some food for Sikong Chiyu. Do you think I'm a pig? I'm already in the 4th rank. I don't need food. What I'm doing now is just training my body and mind to prepare for my breakthrough. Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. I'm stupid. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Don't say that about yourself. You're the only one other than my parents who picked up food for me. I'm very happy. Sikong Chiyu looked at his bowl and sighed. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded. He continued to pick up food for Sikong Chiyu. After eating, Night Sorrow was about to leave. After all, the appointment at Tianji Tower was a big deal. He couldn't ignore it. Sikong Chiyu helped Night Sorrow tidy up his clothes. Finish your business and come back early. Night Sorrow nodded. He got on Tianyu's back and flew towards Danding City. Night Sorrow left Taishan Peak. A figure also left. #only BEC Version HQNHV. He versus both are pirates sitting cross-legged on Tianyu's back. Night Sorrow began to train. He didn't want to waste time. When he was 1,000 li away from Pill Cauldron Mountain, Night Sorrow did not notice that a flying demonic beast had appeared on the side of the mountain and was chasing after him. It was a high-level golden-eyed sparrow. Its speed was extremely fast, and it quickly caught up to Tianyu and blocked his path. With a cry, Tianyu circled around and was about to attack. Night Sorrow, you better not resist. Don't force me to kill you. The middle-aged man standing on the golden-eyed sparrow said, Su Chenbai, are you really going to betray Medicine Valley? Knight Sorrow restrained Tianyu and asked, Haha, I am a direct descendant of the Su family of the Golden Flame sect. I am a member of the Golden Flame sect. How can I be a traitor? Your Medicine Valley is blind, Su Chenbai said with a laugh. Then you're going to attack me? Come on. Knight Sorrow waved his hand and 4 sky-piercing spears appeared in his hand. Since you're going to resist, I won't keep you alive. Su Chenbai rose into the air and left the golden-eyed sparrow. He stood in the air and slapped at Knight Sorrow. I knew you would do something like this. Since you have admitted that you are from the Golden Flame sect, I won't keep you any longer. A figure appeared in front of Yishang. His left hand made a circle while his right hand sent out a palm strike. This person was none other than Medicine Valley's venerable Hua Yinpeng. Bang! With a muffled sound, Su Chenbai's body was sent flying back and vomited blood. After flying for half a meter, his body seemed to be blocked by something and bounced back. You dare to leave Medicine Valley? Aren't you afraid that you'll be killed by the venerable of the Golden Flame sect, without the protection of your spiritual weapon? Su Chenbai roared as he vomited blood. Su Huantian doesn't have the ability to kill me. You'll die first. Hua Yinping slapped again. An energy vortex visible to the naked eye fell directly on Su Chenbai's head, who was unable to dodge. The energy vortex blew up Su Chenbai's head, and his headless body fell to the ground. Hua Yinpeng flicked his finger and blew up Su Chenbai's right hand. Then he took back the storage ring. Love go little say W. Chu then he waved his right hand and captured the huge golden-eyed sparrow. You should be safe now. I'll give you the storage ring when you return to the sect. I'll check if there's anything related to the Golden Flame sect in it, Hua Yinpeng said as he held the storage ring. Thank you, Grand Elder, for saving my life. I have the storage ring, Knight Sorrow said as he bowed. That's all. You can go about your business, Hua Yinpeng said to Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow cupped his fists at Hua Yinpeng and continued flying on Tianyu. He felt lucky. If Hua Yinpeng hadn't followed him, it would have been very difficult for him to escape. In fact, it would have been impossible for him to escape. When he reached Danding City, Knight Sorrow went directly to Yang Lei's residence. What he didn't know was that Hua Yinpeng had been watching Knight Sorrow and only left after he entered Danding City. He was really worried about Knight Sorrow's safety. Knight Sorrow didn't see Yang Lei. After asking Qiushi to arrange for someone to feed Tianyu, he went to Tianji Tower. When he found out that the people who were supposed to go to Tianji Tower had not arrived, he went to the city lord's residence to see Yang Lei. Yang Lei was very happy to see Knight Sorrow. She told Bai Qingshan and Ao Yushan about the matter and dragged Knight Sorrow to a restaurant for a drink. After listening to Knight Sorrow's account of Su Chenbai's attempt to kill him, Yang Lei's face was filled with murderous intent. I didn't expect this guy to be a direct descendant of the Golden Flame sect. How shameless. But that's good. After killing him, the Golden Flame sect can only swallow their pride. Knight Sorrow smiled. He knew that this matter was a huge blow to the Golden Flame sect. Currently, the Medicine Valley had the Venerable One and the Southern Dipper sect as their allies. They could only endure it. After eating, Yang Lei took Knight Sorrow for a stroll on the street before returning to the residence. 13. You have to be careful in the future. There are too many people who want to kill you. If you're not careful, you'll be in danger. Yang Lei was a little worried about Knight Sorrow's safety. I will. Knight Sorrow nodded with a smile. After chatting for a while, Knight Sorrow went to cultivate. He needed to stabilize his Zhenqi cultivation at the 9th level of Element Gathering tier, and his cultivation at the 7th level of Muscle Strengthening tier. The night passed. Knight Sorrow woke up early to cultivate his spear art. Sikong Chiyu told Knight Sorrow that his spear art was currently equivalent to a 3rd-rank battle skill. It was infinitely close to a 4th-rank battle skill. The 2nd-rank wind-chasing spear art was on a completely different level from the wind-chasing spear art, which had the power of vibration. As Knight Sorrow cultivated, a few disciples of Yang Lei watched from the side. They all knew about Knight Sorrow's achievements. Knight Sorrow, who had joined the sect only 1 year earlier than them, was like a legend in their eyes. In just 1 year, There was a huge gap between them, a gap that was impossible to catch up with. At noon, a staff member of Tianji Tower came to invite Night Sorrow. Seeing the staff member of Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow knew that the higher-ups of Tianjin Tower should have arrived. Next, he just had to see what arrangements Tianjin Tower would make. Don't be nervous. Whether you're a talent or not, you need to be evaluated by others. But you have to know that even if others don't know, it's still gold, Yang Lei said. She was worried that Night Sorrow would be nervous. Night Sorrow nodded with a smile, and followed the staff member of Tianji Tower out of the residence. He was indeed not nervous. He knew that even if Tianjin Tower wasn't sure and couldn't get the black eye, he would definitely be able to enter the core condensation tier. The only difference was time. Chapter 221. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go/Little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Enforcer Dong opened the door, and Night Sorrow saw two black-robed men. One was sitting and drinking tea, while the other was standing in front of the window with his back facing him. Night Sorrow recognized that one of them was the man who sponsored him. Although both of them were wearing half-masks, Night Sorrow could distinguish their temperament and aura. The man who was spinning the teacup in his hand was someone Yishang had seen once before. As for the other person, Yishang had never seen him before. When he turned around, half of his face was covered in silver. All right, Enforcer Dong, you may leave. The black-robed man Night Sorrow had seen before waved his hand at Enforcer Dong. Night Sorrow greets the two lords. After Enforcer Dong left, Night Sorrow cupped his fists at the two men. I am Jiaoqing. You can call me Enforcer Jiao. This is our Eastern Profound Region's chief enforcer, Lord Yin Shui, said the black-robed man Night Sorrow had seen before. Enforcer Jiaoqing, Lord Yin Shui. Night Sorrow cupped his fists again. Have a seat. The silver-masked man waved his robe and sat down first, then pointed at the chair opposite him. Night Sorrow nodded and sat down. Enforcer Jiaoqing is in charge of your matters. I have nothing to do, so I came over to take a look. Aren't you nervous at all? This meeting may decide your fate. Love Go Little Say W. Chuyin Shui looked at Night Sorrow again and asked. He had been watching Night Sorrow arrive from the window. From the moment he entered Tianji Tower to the moment he sat down, Night Sorrow had been too calm. Decide my fate? It's not that serious. Even if I'm not valued by the Celestial Terminus Tower, I'll still work hard. My senior sister said that even if Goldie is acknowledged by others, he's still Goldie, said Yishan. Well said. Jiaoqing, you didn't misjudge this time. Chief Enforcer Yin Shui clapped his hands and said, Chief Enforcer, can we begin? Jiaoqing looked at Yin Shui and asked, Let's begin. This time, I came to take a look. Yin Shui nodded. Night Sorrow, through your performance during this time, even if you haven't entered the core condensation stage, Tianji Tower, after the decision of the enforcers, Jiaoqing announced. Thank you, enforcers of Tianji Tower. Yishang stood up and cupped his hands. Although he was not in a rush, he was still very happy to have received a positive answer. Okay, sit down. There are still some things I need to tell you. If you're standing, I have to look up at you. I'm at a disadvantage in terms of presence. Jiaoqing waved his hand at the chair. Jiaoqing Wu Jiaoqing. Jiao Jiao Jiao. It's like this. If you become a black follower, you'll be qualified to join the Heaven's Terminus Tower. Are you willing? I'm very willing, but I still want to know what I need to do for Tianji Tower. Night Sorrow hesitated for a moment and asked. Once a black guard enters the 4th stage, he can take on the role of patrol. Each patrol lasts for a year, and he must take on the role once every 5 years. His mission is to inspect the people in charge of the Celestial Terminus Tower, and the enforcers to see if they are following the rules. In addition, he must pay attention to some secrets. But I haven't entered the core condensation stage yet, Night Sorrow said with some embarrassment. Tianji Tower can wait, as long as you are willing, Jiaoqing said with a smile. Then I have no problem. Night Sorrow nodded. Seeing Night Sorrow nod, Jiaoqing took out a token and looked at Yin Shui. Chief Enforcer, it's better if you give him the Inspector token. It'll look better. Yin Shui took the token and handed it to Night Sorrow. From today onwards, you are a member of the Tianji Tower's inspectors in Eastern Profound Domain. Night Sorrow understands. Night Sorrow got up and took the token with both hands. Black is not the end. Keep working hard, Yin Shui said. Night Sorrow understands. Night Sorrow nodded. Jiao Qing then took out 5 bottles of medicinal pills. These are your cultivation resources. It should be enough for you to reach the spirit severing stage. Then I won't be polite. The medicinal pills given by Chief Enforcer last time are better. Night Sorrow directly put away the medicinal pills. He knew that Tianji Tower didn't give out rubbish. The medicinal pills were all the best. Also, let's talk about the medicinal pill you took last time. Our Tianji Tower's alchemy master analyzed it. It can be refined, but ordinary people can't absorb it. Seeing your vigorous blood essence, you should have a special method, Jiao Qing said. It's like this. Night Sorrow didn't hide it. Be careful. The body refining technique is too important. There will be many people coveting it. Although you have the Tianji Tower's black token, some things can't be avoided, Yin Shui said. Then Jiao Qing told Night Sorrow that Tianji Tower had informed the major forces to retreat when they saw the Tianji Tower's inspector token. But there were still people who took the risk. Thank you, Chief Enforcer. If it wasn't inconvenient for Chief Enforcer, I would like to invite Chief Enforcer for a drink, Night Sorrow said. You mean this? Since you are a Tianji Tower's inspector, you should know the rules of keeping secrets. The mask is meaningless. Yin Shui took off his mask. Yin Shui was a middle-aged man who looked about 35 or 36 years old. His face was white and he looked delicate. When Jiao Qing took off his mask, Night Sorrow was stunned for a moment. He felt that Jiao Qing was familiar. What's wrong? Jiao Qing looked at Night Sorrow and asked. He looks familiar. Does he look like someone I've met before? Night Sorrow said. He felt that Jiao Qing and Nanjun Yuan were very similar. I don't think so. Wait, someone from the Nanda sect came to Medicine Valley a while ago. Did you meet someone from the Nanda sect? Jiao Qing asked. I've met Nanjun Yuan's hall master before, Night Sorrow said. Ha! That's my elder brother. My real name is Nanjun Qing. We are twins, but we haven't seen each other for a long time. I don't participate in the Nanda sect's affairs, Jiao Qing said with a smile. I see. No wonder you look like someone, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Night Sorrow took out a jar of green blood wine and poured it into a bowl. It smells good, Nanjun Qing said as he took a sniff of the wine bowl. This is good wine brewed by my 6th senior sister. I only have 1 jar, and I'm contributing it now, Night Sorrow said. Then the 3 of them began to drink. After downing a jar of green blood wine, no one was affected. Q-head FC haha, hurry up and enter tier 4. Then we can do missions and drink together. Those guardians and inspectors can't even drink. How boring, Jiao Qing said with a smile. I'll work hard. If there's nothing else, I'll be going back, Night Sorrow nodded. Okay, your sect will definitely ask. Black Eyes is no secret to Medicine Valley, but our identities must be kept secret. This is the rule, Jiao Qing said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow understands. Night Sorrow cupped his hands. Chapter 222. Genius remembers love in 1 second / small? I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow left Tianji Tower after saluting Yin Shui and Jiao Qing. Chief Guardian, what do you think of this little guy? Jiao Qing asked as he stood by the window and watched Night Sorrow leave. Very good. He's not inferior to your niece Nan Liyue. His weakness is that he hasn't been cultivating for long, Yin Shui said as she stretched. Chief Guardian, do you think he's comparable to my niece? Jiao Qing asked in surprise. It should be the other way around. Your niece is very talented and is stronger than Night Sorrow now because she has accumulated more in the early stage. However, as people who have been there before, we know that the key is to have enough stamina later on. Night Sorrow has the potential to become a powerhouse. He's not afraid of honor or disgrace. This is his temperament. I've seen many young people, but I've never seen anyone with a stronger temperament than him, Yin Shui said. What I'm thinking now is what kind of cultivation method this guy is cultivating to be able to cultivate himself to the point where his blood and qi are surging. I feel like there's a ferocious beast in his body, Jiao Qing said after thinking for a while. If he doesn't have a special ability, how could he get first place on the Yuan ranking board of Medicine Valley in the middle stage of element gathering? No matter how bad the disciples of Medicine Valley are, they're not sheep, Yin Shui said with a smile. His ability to fight above his level is too strong. Look at the process of his missions. He's always fighting above his level. Even the disciples of Golden Flame sect couldn't fight back. Love go little say net, Chu Jiaoqing nodded. That's why the current cultivation level is nothing. If the cultivation level is low, it can be cultivated. However, not everyone can have the ability to fight above their level, Yin Shui said. Jiaoqing nodded. He knew that he had good taste, but Yin Shui's taste was even sharper. Night Sorrow was very happy when he returned to Yang Lei's mansion. Did you succeed? Yang Lei asked. Yes, it's a success. Night Sorrow took out his Tianji Tower patrol token and showed it to Night Sorrow. Really? You're too fierce. You haven't even reached Tier 3, yet you already have the Tianji Tower's inspector token, Yang Lei said excitedly. Give me some resources as well. Night Sorrow took out some pills and began studying them. After studying for a while, Night Sorrow was very satisfied. Jiao Qing gave all the best spirit congealing pills, which was enough for Night Sorrow to cultivate to the 4th order. That's enough. Not bad indeed. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow enviously. She had worked hard in the past, but she had never met the requirements of Tianji Tower. She hadn't entered the purple circle, and she wasn't willing to be a peripheral member. That's great. You are a direct member of Tianji Tower. The Golden Flame sect won't dare to easily carry out the dragon-slaying plan on you, Yang Lei said excitedly. Didn't you say that the members of Tianji Tower are secrets? Didn't I leak it? Night Sorrow said. That's nothing. The Eastern Profound Domain is very vast. When you officially take office, you won't necessarily take office in the Medicine Valley area. At that time, you have to pay attention to keeping your identity secret, Yang Lei said to Night Sorrow. Well then I understand. Ninth Senior Sister, I plan to go to the Longquan Courtyard and take Silver Fox to the Bamboo Forest Peak, Night Sorrow said. I'll go with you, Yang Lei said. Night Sorrow knew that this was Yang Lei's kindness, so he didn't refuse. The two of them left the mansion. It's not far. Let's sit on my blue condor. Yang Lei released the blue condor and said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and followed Yang Lei to land on the back of the green condor. Then they flew towards the Longquan Courtyard. Senior Sister, the Dragon Spring Courtyard is suitable for cultivation. You should stay in the Dragon Spring Courtyard. Don't stay in that mansion. Your mansion is grand and luxurious, but it has a stifling aura, said Night Sorrow. If you're not in the Dragon Spring Courtyard, there's no point in me going. Yang Lei shook her head. Yang Lei shook her head. Night Sorrow didn't know how to answer Yang Lei's words. He also liked the Dragon Spring Courtyard, but Sikong Chuyu's safety was a problem. Yin Xia and Chuyu had both been to the Dragon Spring Courtyard, so it wasn't very safe. He was reluctant to leave Sikong Chuyu alone in the Bamboo Forest Peak, but he also felt uncomfortable when he saw Yang Lei like this. For some reason, Night Sorrow's heart ached. Senior Sister, are you happy to be the city lord? Night Sorrow asked. Yes, I really don't want to be the city lord. At that time, we were all in the Dragon Spring Courtyard. That was the happiest time. Yang Lei sighed. Didn't Master say that you can leave everything to your subordinates? You don't have to do it yourself. Night Sorrow said. Yang Lei rubbed her forehead and said, Usually I can, but there have been too many things happening recently. The problem with the Golden Flame sect has been solved, but 2 more groups of people have appeared in Danding City. Their cultivation bases are very high, but we still can't figure out where they came from. We don't know where they came from, so we sent people to investigate. They're not from this area. Let's stabilize the situation first. When the situation is stable, we'll go find Master and give up the City Lord position. Night Sorrow didn't want to see Yang Lei unhappy. If the situation is stable, then there's nothing to do as the City Lord. I'll be free. It's because the situation isn't stable that I'm frustrated. Yang Lei put her hand on his shoulder and said. Night Sorrow patted Yang Lei's back, but he didn't know how to comfort her. Don't worry. Your ninth senior sister isn't that weak. I can handle this kind of thing. I just don't like it. Yang Lei said with a smile. Soon, the two of them arrived at Longquan Courtyard. Night Sorrow came down, and the green condor and the silver fox cub appeared. They directly jumped onto Night Sorrow's shoulder, and seemed to be very affectionate. Make some wine and dishes. I want to drink with ninth senior sister. Night Sorrow said to Hai Luo, and Luo Wei made tea for Night Sorrow and Yang Lei. 13. When I think about you being the inspector of Tianji Tower in the future, and having to leave Medicine Valley, I feel uncomfortable. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and said, Ninth senior sister, don't worry. I'll bring ninth senior sister with me, wherever I go. How about that? But when that time comes, ninth senior sister won't be able to be the city lord. Night Sorrow said with a smile. T. Do you think I like being the city lord? The city lord is worthless in my eyes. Yang Lei glared at Night Sorrow and said. Then I understand. I know. Night Sorrow nodded and said. Square root H Yong P Geoffrey asterisk. Look at the little girl. Yi Shang knew his own situation. He would have to go out sooner or later. Putting aside the matter of the celestial terminus citadel, Sikong Chuyu's matter required him to go to the Qingtian region. In addition, he had to find his family. Night Sorrow usually didn't talk about looking for his family, but this matter had always been in his heart. Who didn't have parents? Who didn't miss them? Besides, Night Sorrow knew that something must have happened to his family. Otherwise, when Father Gu found him, it wouldn't have been so tragic. What are you thinking about? Don't frown so much at such a young age. Yang Lei reached out and knocked on Night Sorrow's head. After the dishes were served, Yi Shang opened the wine, and the two of them began to drink from their bowls. Night Sorrow was really happy. Joining Tianji Tower was equivalent to opening a door. It would be much more convenient for him to go out in the future. However, Yang Lei wasn't. She was in a bad mood and directly drank too much. Looking at the drunk Yang Lei, Night Sorrow helped her to the room to rest. As soon as they entered the room, Yang Lei vomited all over her skirt. Chapter 223. Geniuses remember love in 1 second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. After placing Yang Lei on the bed, Night Sorrow reached out and took off Yang Lei's combat boots. After hesitating for a moment, Night Sorrow reached out and unbuckled Yang Lei's belt. Then he took off Yang Lei's outer skirt and carried Yang Lei, who was wearing only her underwear, to the bed. Then he covered Yang Lei with a blanket. Holding Yang Lei's dirty skirt, Night Sorrow washed it and hung it outside the attic. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow returned to his room to cultivate. He originally planned to leave with Silver Fox, but now that Yang Lei's condition was not good, he could not leave directly. After cultivating for a whole night, Night Sorrow woke up early to cultivate his spear skills. After cultivating for a while, he heard Yang Lei shout, "What's going on? 13, come here." Night Sorrow put away his spear and went to the attic where Yang Lei lived. "Ninth senior sister, why are you still calling for me?" "I asked Hai Luo, and they said that you were the one who sent me back last night. They weren't the ones who took off my clothes." At this moment, Yang Lei was only wearing a pink tight-fitting bra, and her beautiful figure was in full view. "Yes, ninth senior sister. You drank too much last night. I helped you back. You vomited on your body, so I helped you take it off and wash it." Night Sorrow walked over and took down the skirt that was hanging to dry. Then he handed it to Yang Lei. If it was someone else, I would chop off his hand." Yang Lei blushed. She glanced at Night Sorrow and went back to her room. At this time, Night Sorrow also felt that it was inappropriate. However, he did not think so much at that time. He just felt that Yang Lei's skirt was dirty. If he did not change it, she would not be comfortable sleeping. After standing awkwardly for a while, Night Sorrow went to the side to tease the silver fox cub while watching Tianyu eat. Little Six knew that Night Sorrow was coming back, so he bought the corpses of demonic beasts early, and roasted them to feed Tianyu. First 9 shots after Tianyu finished eating, Night Sorrow planned to leave. He was too embarrassed to see Yang Lei. When Night Sorrow was about to leave, Yang Lei came over. Are you going back? Yes, ninth senior sister. I'm sorry. I didn't think too much. Night Sorrow lowered his head and said, I'm not blaming you. It's just that when I woke up this morning and saw that my clothes were gone, I got a little anxious. Knowing that it was junior brother, I won't get angry anymore. When Yang Lei woke up in the morning, she found that her clothes were untidy and her chest was exposed. She didn't know that it was caused by her rolling in her sleep, so she was anxious. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aitruaccess.com. Nodding to Yang Lei, Night Sorrow got on Tianyu's back and left. Seeing Night Sorrow leave, Yang Lei's blushing face showed a smile. At this time, Night Sorrow was like a deserter. However, she wasn't sure if Night Sorrow saw anything. Sitting on Tianyu's back, Night Sorrow suddenly remembered what Yang Lei said. She said that there were strangers in Danding City, and they were experts. Thinking of this, Night Sorrow returned to Longquan Courtyard. Why are you back? Can't bear to leave ninth senior sister? Yang Lei asked with a smile. I heard from ninth senior sister that there are some strangers in Danding City, and their cultivation is very high. Could it be related to Chuyu? Night Sorrow said. This was what he was worried about. I thought you couldn't bear to leave ninth senior sister. But it turns out that you're worried about your little lover. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and said, I also can't bear to leave ninth senior sister. Night Sorrow said, what you said is very possible, so Sikong Chuyu must not come to Danding City and Longquan Courtyard. Yang Lei nodded seriously. She was joking about some things, but when it came to serious matters, she would never joke. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. They came a long way to find you. You have to take good care of them. Yang Lei reminded Night Sorrow. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. You can't leave Medicine Valley now, the alternate space is about to open. Also, you have to participate in the martial arts competition in the Golden Flame sect area. Otherwise, you can go out with Sikong. Yang Lei thought for a while and said. Night Sorrow nodded and didn't say anything. He knew about these things. After saying goodbye to Yang Lei, Night Sorrow rode Tianyu back to Bamboo Forest Peak. You're back, did it go well? Sikong Chuyu was very happy to see Night Sorrow. It went well. Night Sorrow put down the silver fox cub in his arms, and took out the black token given to him by the Empyrean Terminus Tower. Patrol token, not bad, it will be more convenient in the future. You will also have less pressure. Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Less pressure? They asked me to continue to work hard, saying that the black token isn't the end. Night Sorrow said with some puzzlement. Could it be that Eastern Profound Region started the Celestial Fate Project for you? Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow with some astonishment. Then she became excited, so excited that her face blushed. What's the Celestial Fate Project? Night Sorrow asked puzzledly. Originally, this was a secret, but it doesn't exist between us. The Celestial Fate Project is the core of Tianji Tower's training. Those who can pass the test of the Celestial Fate Project will have a much higher status in Tianji Tower. It should be said that it's terrifyingly high. Core members such as the Chief Enforcer and Branch Leader are all selected by passing the Celestial Fate Project. Not all the Chief Enforcers have passed the Celestial Fate Project. As long as they are excellent, it's fine. However, branch leaders must pass the test. Sikong Chuyu said. Then I'll have to continue to work hard. Night Sorrow said. He liked this kind of challenge. Continue to work hard. If you perform well in the Celestial Fate Project, you will be designated as the successor to the Chief Enforcer, Branch Leader, and so on. With Tianji Tower behind you, your growth will be much smoother. Even the major clans of Qingtian region will have to give you face. Sikong Chuyu said. My identity must be kept secret. Even if I have a high status, I still have to hide it. Night Sorrow said somewhat gloomily. Are you stupid? Your identity in Tianji Tower is hidden, but your superiors and friends can wear masks, right? Can't I give you some face? Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. So it's possible. Then I'll continue to work hard. Night Sorrow nodded. His heart was filled with motivation because this direction of hard work would bring him closer to Sikong Chuyu. Generally speaking, Tianji Tower pays attention to talents until the end of the day. The Celestial Fate project will only start when an especially excellent seedling appears. If you can perform well in the Celestial Fate project, the Golden Flame sect won't dare to touch the Medicine Valley, Sikong Chuyu said to Night Sorrow. Isn't Tianji Tower not involved in local power struggles? Night Sorrow asked, somewhat puzzled. Yes, but Tianji Tower will protect the power of its core members. If their birthplace is destroyed, who can still work in Tianji Tower with a calm mind? Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Chapter 224. Geniuses remember love in 1 second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Can they? Absolutely. Tianji Tower doesn't have many core members, but they are all powerful people. For example, if you want to attack the Golden Flame sect, Tianjin Tower will send a top-level expert to kill the venerables of the Golden Flame sect. If that happens, will the Golden Flame sect still have a foothold in the Eastern Xian domain? Sikong Chuyu asked with a smile. A genuine cent. Indeed, this is the real way to kill the leader. Night Sorrow nodded. Tianjin Tower didn't need a lot of people. They only needed top-level experts to be a deterrent. Of course, if Tianjin Tower wants to attack the Golden Flame sect, they will send a top-level expert to kill the venerables of the Golden Flame sect. Then they will go to the surrounding top-level sects and ask them if they can attack the Golden Flame sect. If they can't, they will kill their venerables. That will be enough. Who would dare to refuse? Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Chuyu, I want to ask you something. What if two forces both have core members of Tianjin Tower, and there is a conflict between them? Night Sorrow asked. He found that Nanjinqing was in Tianji Tower, so there would be a conflict between the forces with core members of Tianjin Tower. At that time, the attitude of Tianjin Tower would be the key. Sikong Chuyu explained to Yishang. It's very simple. First, it'll be best if it can be adjusted. If it can't, then it'll depend on whose status is higher, and who is more important to the Extreme Heaven Tower. It's that simple. Under normal circumstances, it can be adjusted. If you don't give face to the core of the Extreme Heaven Tower, then your future days won't be too good. Don't you agree? Yishang nodded. He understood Sikong's logic. Night Sorrow then told him what Yang Lei had told him. I expected this. I'm Abba's only weakness. Those uncles won't let me go so easily. That hateful Ji Yuhao, I didn't expect him to be so despicable, said Sikong Chuyu angrily. It's a pity that I'm too weak. Night Sorrow's eyes dimmed. Sikong Chuyu walked to Night Sorrow's side, held Night Sorrow's hand and said, You're still young. That Ji Yuhao is already in his 40s, almost 50. How shameless. Sikong Chuyu, who was wearing a pale yellow dress, looked at Night Sorrow with her expressive eyes. Her beautiful hair swayed in the breeze, and even the slightest strand of hair could affect Night Sorrow's heart. Turning around, Night Sorrow looked up at the sky and roared, his voice echoing in the air. You're right. I'm still young. I'll work hard. Night Sorrow turned around and grabbed Sikong Chuyu's shoulders. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao say www.aichuaccess.com. I believe in you. Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and smiled. Night Sorrow gently closed his arms and hugged Sikong Chuyu. He didn't say anything because there was no point in saying anything. He had to do it. After a while, the two of them went to the front of the bamboo house to make tea. The two of them looked at each other and drank their tea. They didn't say anything. Everything was conveyed without words. When the sky darkened, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. If he wanted to gain a foothold in Tianji Tower, he needed to have a stage for cultivation level. He hadn't even reached stage 3, so he was a little far away. Upon seeing Night Sorrow go to cultivate, Sikong Chuyu also went to cultivate. After breaking through to the Spirit Severing Stage 8 at the Longquan Courtyard, she had returned to Yunwu Mountain. Before coming out this time, she had completed another breakthrough and entered the Spirit Severing Stage 9. Now she needed to stabilize her cultivation level and straighten out her thoughts in preparation for her future breakthrough. Ai go xiao say w. Chu the next few days were quiet. When Night Sorrow planned to go to Danding Cliff to cultivate again, Hua Yinpeng, Yu Yangyu and Yang Lei came. 13. This is Suchinbai's storage ring. I'll leave the spirit stones inside for you. As for the other cultivation techniques, I'll leave them to the sect. Hua Yinpeng took out a storage ring and handed it to Night Sorrow. Grand Elder, I don't need it. If Grand Elder hadn't appeared in time, I wouldn't have been able to escape from Suchinbai's pursuit, Night Sorrow said. It's only right to protect you. You offended the Golden Flame sect, because you contributed to the sect. Hua Yinpeng didn't wait for Night Sorrow to refute, and threw the storage ring to Night Sorrow. 13. The elders saw that you were good at fist techniques in addition to spear techniques, so they used the materials stored in the merit hall to make you a claw glove. Yu Yangyu threw a shiny silver metal claw glove to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow took the claw glove, and felt that it was very heavy in his hand. This claw glove weighed at least 150 kilograms. It was made of pure metal, and could be used to move the fingers and wrists. The front of the 5 fingers were sharp spikes, and the back of the hand had protruding metal ridges, which were suitable for fist techniques. Try it on. It's a masterpiece that the Grand Elder worked on day and night without sleep. Yu Yangyu looked at Night Sorrow and said. Night Sorrow put his right hand into the claw glove and waved it. The claw glove made a sharp sound as it sliced through the air. The claw glove was very heavy, but it wasn't big and only covered the wrist. Night Sorrow took out his reincarnation spear and demonstrated his spear techniques. He realized that wearing the claw glove didn't affect his spear techniques. It seems to suit you. You won't have a problem with close combat in the future, Hua Yinpeng said. Night Sorrow nodded. The claw glove was indeed very suitable for him. Most importantly, it didn't affect his chasing wind spear technique, which was his favorite part. Yu Yangyu reminded Night Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu. Your 9th senior sister came back and told me something. The people from Danding City should be here for Sikong. You two shouldn't go out during this period of time. Just cultivate steadily. They won't be so bold as to come to our Medicine Valley. 9th senior sister, are you sure? Night Sorrow looked at Yang Lei and asked. I'm sure. During this period of time, they appeared near Enforcer Dong's residence, and even went to the Dragon Spring courtyard. This proves that they are here for Sikong. There are 2 groups of people, and the leaders are all at the 5th level of cultivation. They are much stronger than me. Yang Lei nodded seriously. Chuyu has brought trouble to everyone. Sikong Chiyu bowed slightly and said. Don't say that. I like you. Since you are 13's friend, then stay here peacefully. I will go to Danding City later to take a look. This is not a place where they can do anything, Hua Yinpeng said. Thank you, Grand Elder. Night Sorrow nodded and said. Alright, then you two cultivate. I will leave first. Hua Yinpeng nodded to Night Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu and left with Yu Yangyu. 9th senior sister, is it serious? Night Sorrow asked. Indeed. These days they have been very rampant. They are just short of saying that they are looking for someone. I even saw Yinxia. Yang Lei said. The situation is complicated. Night Sorrow understood the current situation. Who cares if it is complicated or not? You two just stay here at Taishan Peak. I don't believe that they will dare to come to Taishan Peak. Yang Lei sat down and said. Then we will listen to 9th senior sister. Sikong Chiyu nodded. 9th senior sister, you can stay here tonight. Yishang said. Won't I disturb you two? Yang Lei's beautiful eyes looked back and forth between Night Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu. 9th senior sister, what are you saying? Sikong Chiyu said embarrassedly. Chapter 225. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. You can squeeze with Chuyu, Night Sorrow said with a smile. So you're saying that you're giving Sikong to me today? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. 9th senior sister, what are you talking about? Sikong Chiyu blushed. Yang Lei's words implied that something had already happened between Sikong Chiyu and Night Sorrow. Hee, it's settled then. 13. You took advantage of me a few days ago. I'm going to earn it back today, Yang Lei said to Night Sorrow. Dash. D = original hashtag FS release. Night Sorrow blushed. What happened a few days ago was a complete accident. At that time, Night Sorrow didn't think too much about it, but now that he thought about it, it was indeed inappropriate. Seeing that Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu had gone to rest, Night Sorrow also returned to his room to cultivate. Listening to the two girls laughing and giggling, Night Sorrow was unable to meditate and cultivate. Fortunately, the two of them were only fooling around for a while, and did not delay Night Sorrow's cultivation. After daybreak, the three of them ate something together. Then Night Sorrow left. He was going to Danding Cliff to raise his true chi cultivation to the peak stage of element gathering tier, and then slowly settle down. There were some people who had been in the peak stage of element gathering tier for a very long time. Enlightenment, Shiyun Xiao Lan Yu, and the others had all settled down for more than a year. Night Sorrow also wanted to cultivate to the bottleneck earlier, and then settle down to find an opportunity to break through. Love Goblittle Se, Kuyang Lei, and Sikong Chiyu both supported Night Sorrow's decision. They also hoped that Night Sorrow could improve his cultivation as soon as possible. Elder Su was also surprised to see Night Sorrow, because Night Sorrow hadn't been here for a while. After greeting Elder Su, Night Sorrow asked Tianyu to return to the bamboo forest peak. Then he began to climb the cliff. Night Sorrow didn't have any difficulty reaching the 4,000 m mark. Night Sorrow then charged towards the 5,000 m mark. Seeing Night Sorrow climb the cliff, many disciples who came to cultivate paused and watched Night Sorrow climb the cliff. Night Sorrow had broken the record when he was in the 6th level of element gathering tier, and now he was already in the 9th level of element gathering tier. Everyone wanted to know whether or not Night Sorrow would challenge the record he had set. At 4,500 meters, Night Sorrow felt some pressure, but it was still within his tolerance. Night Sorrow paused for a moment, took a sip of wine, and continued climbing. Enlightenment, do you think the heavens created such a monster to attack us on purpose? Lan Yu, who was very close to enlightenment, asked. There are new talents in every generation. 13th uncle is the king of this generation, enlightenment said. They planned to cultivate Gong Xian and Night Sorrow as the successors of the Valley Master. However, Yu Yangyu refused. Gong Xian was now the peak master. In the future, his achievements depended on himself. Night Sorrow wasn't interested in this because he didn't want to go to Danding Peak. He just wanted to stay at Taishan Peak and cultivate. This kind of attitude made the elders of the Medicine Valley hate and love. They hated his lack of ambition and loved his indifference to fame and fortune. Night Sorrow was recovering while refining his own cultivation. After recovering his energy, Night Sorrow stood up and used the Zhen Yu hand to consume his Zhen Qi and energy. Then he continued to cultivate. This disappointed those who wanted to see Night Sorrow continue to challenge. Night Sorrow had no intention of continuing to climb. Night Sorrow cultivated at this position for 4 days. As long as his Zhen Qi and energy in his body recovered, he would get up and cultivate his battle skills. Sometimes he would cultivate his spear arts and movement skills. Other times he would face the pressure from Danding Cliff and cultivate the killing fist. After consuming his Zhen Qi and energy from the myriad Tao Tome, he would continue to cultivate. The high intensity of cultivation allowed Night Sorrow's cultivation to increase very quickly. Especially with the myriad Tao Tome, the muscle strengthening energy in his body increased exponentially. Batch after batch of disciples came to Danding Cliff to cultivate. Only Night Sorrow, who was 5,000 meters above Danding Cliff, didn't move. Feeling the pressure lessen, Night Sorrow continued to climb. When he reached the platform at 5,100 meters, he continued to cultivate. Night Sorrow cultivated for half a month. He only stopped when his Zhen Qi couldn't increase anymore. The myriad Tao Tome's cultivation was also not far from the peak of muscle strengthening level 7. Night Sorrow's cultivation speed was fast because the effects of cultivating at Danding Cliff were too strong. It was second only to the Yuan gathering array. Otherwise, the disciples of the Medicine Valley wouldn't care so much about merit points. Night Sorrow broke the record. which meant that he had the privilege of increasing his cultivation without limit. Chapter 226. Genius 1 Second. Remember Love Go divided by Xiao? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Since Tianyu was not there, Knight Sorrow was strolling slowly on the mountain road, feeling the true qi in his dantian. He wanted to ask Sikong Chiyu about the difference in difficulty between advancing from qi refining to essence gathering and from essence gathering to core condensation. He felt that he could make a breakthrough at any time. It was not as scary as Yang Lei and the others said. Love Go divided by Xiao W. Aichux. Xiaoan. When he returned to Bamboo Forest Peak, Sikong Chiyu was washing clothes by the stream. Her hair was a little wet, which proved that she had just taken a bath. Chiyu, I'm back. Knight Sorrow shouted when he saw Sikong Chiyu. Sikong Chiyu turned around and looked at Knight Sorrow with a smile. Looking at Sikong Chiyu standing by the stream in the breeze, Knight Sorrow was a little dazed. Her graceful figure and her proud face with a smile were so warm. Love Go Xiao Say W. Chu. Walking over, Knight Sorrow stretched out his arms and hugged Sikong Chiyu. Sikong Chiyu did not resist. Her body gently pressed against Knight Sorrow's chest, and the two stood quietly. After a while the two separated. Sikong Chiyu hung up the washed clothes and then boiled water to make tea. At this time Tianyu and Silver Fox also came back. Silver Fox was lying on Tianyu's back, looking very obedient. Seeing Knight Sorrow, Tianyu glided to Knight Sorrow's side and rubbed his head against Knight Sorrow's side. Silver Fox also jumped onto Knight Sorrow's shoulder. Come down quickly. You can't do this in the future, Knight Sorrow said with a smile as he carried Silver Fox down. The two of them have been playing very well recently. Tianyu not only takes Silver Fox with him when he's hunting, but also takes him out to fly when he's free, Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. I've been busy cultivating these days, so I didn't accompany them or you, Knight Sorrow said. I'm not a child. It's good to cultivate quietly here. You've reached the bottleneck of the energy gathering realm, so you should also cultivate well. Love Go Xiao Say W. Quinn Edition. 9th senior sister came the day before yesterday. The leaders of the two groups went to visit her when Grand Elder Hua was there. They made it clear that they didn't mean to offend Medicine Valley. They just came to look for someone. One of them is my sixth uncle, Sikong Tianhua, and the other is Ji Yuming from Ji Yu's family, Sikong Chiyu said. Since they said that they didn't mean to offend Medicine Valley, then they shouldn't reach out to Taishan Peak. Knight Sorrow felt a little relieved. It's safe for now. After all, I didn't contact anyone this time, nor did I use Tianji Tower's channels. They have spies in Tianji Tower, so they can't find anything, Sikong Chiyu said. That's good. I'm relieved, Knight Sorrow said. This was what he was most worried about. Sikong Chiyu said to Knight Sorrow. There's one more thing. They've investigated you and looked into your background. Maybe Chiyu leaked our relationship, so they've turned their attention to you. They want to dig out some information from you. Most / a new chapter, upper 9Q. Hearing this news, Knight Sorrow was a little shocked. If that was the case, then there might be trouble. Sikong Chiyu conveyed Yang Lei's message. 9th senior sister wants you to walk around Danding City. That way, if they see you but not me, they won't stay in Danding City. Alright, I'll accompany you today. Tomorrow we'll go to Danding City, Knight Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Sitting in front of the bamboo house with Sikong Chiyu, Yi Xuan watched the moon rise and enjoyed the gentle breeze. Knight Sorrow asked, Chiyu, a lot of people are stuck at the Dan formation stage. Is this stage really that difficult? Sikong Chiyu said to Knight Sorrow. If it's difficult, then it's as difficult as climbing the heavens. Many people can't pass this stage, because their qi isn't condensed enough. If you say it's easy, then it's very easy. As long as your qi is condensed enough, then you can naturally form a dan. The difficulty of advancing depends on your qi's condensed level. The same liquid qi has different levels of condensed qi. Knight Sorrow nodded. He was confident in his qi's condensed level. Although his cultivation speed was fast, his qi had been tempered by the energy of Danding Cliff. It was not weak at all. What are you thinking about? Try to break through when you're confident. Don't rush to break through. It'll be troublesome if you enter the false dance stage. It's a very long process, and it'll delay your growth. Sikong Chuyu was a little worried about Night Sorrow. He was afraid that Night Sorrow would advance too quickly. I understand, Night Sorrow said while holding Sikong Chuyu's hand. You only know how to take advantage of me. Sikong Chuyu blushed under the moonlight. That night, Night Sorrow did not cultivate. He really slept. Of course he slept by himself. After dawn, Night Sorrow washed up. Sikong Chuyu helped Night Sorrow tie up his hair. Night Sorrow usually used a thin string to tie up his hair. Just as Night Sorrow was about to leave for Danding City, Gongxian, Oi, and Yang Lei came over. The three of them did not look good. Ninth senior sister, I was planning to go to Danding City to find you. Why did you come over? Night Sorrow greeted. They left, those bastards. Yang Lei cursed. What happened? Night Sorrow had a bad feeling. They found out that you were from Zhuyuan Town in Tiannan City, so they went to Zhuyuan Town. The villagers there did not reveal any information about you and Sikong. They set fire to Zhuyuan Town and injured Father Gu. Yang Lei's voice was filled with killing intent. Hearing that Father Gu was injured, Night Sorrow's eyes flashed coldly. Who did it? I'm not sure. I only know that the people who went were from Jiyu's family. I also received the news last night, so I came over early this morning to find you, Yang Lei said. This is not over. Night Sorrow roared at the sky. We need to go to Zhuyuan Town to check on the situation, Aoi said. I'll go now. Sikong, wait for me here. Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chuyu with bloodshot eyes. To Night Sorrow, Father Gu was not only his savior, but also his family. No. I'll go too. I've seen Father twice, and he's been very nice to me. Every time, he would ask me to stay for dinner. He's never treated me as an outsider. Sikong Chuyu shook his head and released his fire phoenix. Don't use your flying demonic beast. It's too eye-catching. Just be my green condor. Aoi said. She planned to go with them. 13. It's not convenient for me to leave Taishian Peak right now. Your 6th senior sister and 9th senior sister will go with you. If anything happens, send a message back. Remember, Taishian Peak will always be behind you. Gongxian said to Night Sorrow. Thank you, eldest senior brother. I understand. I'll take my leave first. Night Sorrow put the silver fox cub into the beast taming crystal, then jumped onto Tianyu's back and flew down the bamboo forest peak. Yang Lei, Aoi, and Sikong Chuyu followed closely behind on their green condors. Chapter 227. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go/Small? We provide you with exciting novels to read. When he arrived at Zhuyuan Town, Night Sorrow realized that he couldn't recognize the place after not seeing it for a while. There were broken bricks and tiles everywhere, and some places were even emitting black smoke. However, many people were cleaning up. Night Sorrow recognized them as the city guards of South Sky City. The villagers of Zhuyuan Town were also cleaning up. Everyone was very calm. Other than the sound of footsteps, there was no other sound in the town. After taking a deep breath, Night Sorrow directly rushed to Papa Gu's bamboo house. When he arrived at the courtyard, Night Sorrow growled angrily. The bamboo house was burned and turned into ruins. Papa Gu was lying in a temporary shack. Uncle Nyo, Auntie Lin, and the rest were in front of the shack. Auntie Lin was holding a bowl of medicine. Night Sorrow slowly walked to the bed in the shack. Dad, I'm back. Night Sorrow, who reached out to pull Papa Gu, was suddenly stunned. Papa Gu's left shoulder was bare. One of his arms was gone. Dad, tell me who did this? Who did this? Night Sorrow asked with clenched fists. You're back. It's good that you're back. Papa Gu coughed twice, and a trace of blood appeared at the corner of his mouth. Dad has internal injuries. Let me take a look. You go outside and wait. Aoi came into the shack and stood beside Night Sorrow. Yang Lei came in and pulled Night Sorrow out. 13. Calm down. Papa Gu will be fine with 6 senior sisters' help. Yang Lei said as she pulled Night Sorrow, whose breathing was a little unstable. Night Sorrow, don't worry. Papa Gu will be fine. Uncle Nyo also came over. His arm was also wrapped in thick gauze. Uncle, are you okay? Although Night Sorrow's eyes were red, he hadn't lost his mind. I'm fine. It's just that Papa Gu's situation is a little worse. The town guards were also injured, Uncle Nyo said. Uncle Nyo then explained the situation to Night Sorrow. A few days ago, a group of people came to Bamboo Garden Town. They asked this and that in an arrogant and commanding manner. The town's guards came to stop them but were directly injured. In the end, they captured Father Gu and asked about Night Sorrow's recent situation, and who Night Sorrow was with. Father Gu naturally didn't reply. In the end, one of his arms was broken and he was beaten up. Then this group of people set fire to Bamboo Garden Town. Do you know who they are? Night Sorrow asked. Yes, the leader said. I, Ji Yufeng, have seen a lot of tough people. Let's see how tough your bones are. Then he chopped off Old Man Gu's arm. Uncle Nyo said. Ji Yufeng, I'll remember that. Uncle Nyo, Papa Gu isn't free right now. Take this money and rebuild the town. Night Sorrow took out a stack of gold notes and said. There's no need for that. The people from South Sky City are here. They said that it was their fault for not protecting Bamboo Garden Town well. Therefore, South Sky City will bear all the losses of Bamboo Garden Town. Uncle Nyo said. What the F***ck have they done? Night Sorrow roared. You can't blame them completely. Jiyu family came too suddenly. Besides, the people from South Sky City couldn't stop them. It's my fault for being careless, Yang Lei said. It's all my fault, Sikong Chiyu, who had been standing beside Night Sorrow, said while wiping his tears. Sikong, it's not your fault. Jiyu family is too overbearing and despicable. How could they attack ordinary people? Yang Lei said with hatred. At that moment, Aoi came out and said, I helped Papa Gu evacuate his stagnated blood and gave him some healing pills. His internal injuries are all healed now. Only his external injuries are left. His severed arm has already been buried. Also, I don't have that kind of elixir that can reconnect a severed limb. Qingji said. Thank you, Sixth Sister, Night Sorrow said. Then the deputy mayor of South Sky City came to apologize. After all, this was their territory. It was their fault that something like this happened. Iyong Qjo 8 for free. Do your best to deal with the aftermath. It can only be better than before, not worse. The villagers' losses must be compensated in full. Moreover, it must be done quickly. Yang Lei took out the elder's order and showed it to the vice city lord from South Sky City. Yes, elder. Today, all the craftsmen from South Sky City will come to rebuild this place. The deputy mayor bowed and left. Night Sorrow returned to the shack. In the shack, Father Gu had already fallen asleep. Yi Shang reached out to cover him with the blanket. Seeing the charred wooden horse beside Papa Gu's bed, Night Sorrow picked it up. He was afraid that Papa Gu would have trouble turning over. Don't move. Uncle Nyo wanted to take it away yesterday, but Papa Gu refused. He snatched it back from the fire with one hand. Auntie Lin said. Night Sorrow's tears fell. His heart was filled with mixed feelings. He put down the wooden horse with trembling hands and turned to leave the shack. His heart was stifled, so he could only go outside to get some fresh air. The craftsmen from South Sky City arrived at noon. Everyone brought some daily necessities. After they arrived, they distributed the daily necessities to the townspeople and began to repair the houses in the town. The first thing they dealt with was Papa Gu's house. Yang Lei made the decision and asked Uncle Nyo to do his best to restore the house to its former state. Night Sorrow, it's my fault for bringing such a disaster to Papa Gu. Standing in front of the yard, Sikong Chiyu said with some self-blame. It's not your fault. It's fate. As long as you guys are fine, I'm happy. These old bones of mine won't die. Papa Gu walked out with one hand on his walking stick. Dad, I'm sorry. Sikong Chiyu turned around and looked at the one-armed Papa Gu. Tears fell like rain. Child, don't be like this. Papa Gu put down his walking stick and patted Sikong Chiyu's shoulder. I'll make Jiyu's family pay back 100-fold. Night Sorrow said with a murderous tone. It's all in the past. Girl, don't cry. Go and make us a pot of tea, Papa Gu said. He wanted to change the current atmosphere. Papa Gu, how do you feel? Aoi asked. I feel much better. I'm really sorry for making you guys come here again. Papa Gu looked at Aoi and Yang Lei and said, Papa Gu, please don't say that. You're 13th's relative and also ours. This time, Medicine Valley didn't protect Zhiyuan Town well enough. That's why Zhiyuan Town suffered such a disaster, Yang Lei said. If it was in the past, it wouldn't have been good to lose an arm. At that time, Night Sorrow was still young. Now that Night Sorrow has grown up, I don't need to do anything, Papa Gu said with a smile. Dad, come with me this time. Night Sorrow planned to bring Papa Gu to Longquan Courtyard. There were servants there, and the environment was good. Chapter 228. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow nodded, and turned to look at the bamboo hut that the craftsman had repaired. The bamboo house was more or less the same as before. In fact, it was newly built. How could a burnt-down bamboo house be repaired? The courtyard had also been cleaned up, and the walls had been rebuilt with green bricks and red tiles. Night Sorrow, bring my things back. The bamboo house is more comfortable, said Old Man Gu when he saw that the bamboo house was ready. Night Sorrow nodded and went to tear down the shack that Father Gu was temporarily staying in. Then he placed the bedding and other things sent over from South Sky City into Shinju House. When he came out, Night Sorrow saw Father Gu carrying the wooden horse with one hand and placing it back in its original position. Dad, I'm all grown up. I don't need these anymore, Night Sorrow said as he helped Old Man Gu up. I know you don't need it. When you're not around, looking at the wooden horse makes me feel like I can see you playing on it when you were young. I can feel you by my side, Papa Gu said with a smile. Dad, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have stubbornly insisted on going out. Night Sorrow felt a lump in his throat. Child, what nonsense are you saying? You are destined to belong to the outside world. No one blames you for this matter, because everything in Bamboo Garden Town changed because of you. Love go little say, Old Man Gu said. Night Sorrow, do you know? If Bamboo Garden Town doesn't change, then we'll have to rely on hunting for a living. You also know that people from Bamboo Garden Village often die in the mouths of beasts, and there are also frequent attacks from demonic beasts. Everyone is very satisfied with our current life, Uncle Nyo said. Old Nyo, let's not talk about other things. Bring the wine. Old Man Gu said to Uncle Nyo. No, absolutely not. Father Gu, your injuries aren't light and you need to rest for a while. You can't drink during this period. Aoi hurriedly stopped him. No, what should I do if I can't drink it? Mr. Gu was a little depressed when he heard Aoi say that she couldn't drink it. Dad, just bear with it for a few days. It really isn't a good time to drink now, Night Sorrow said. For the next few days, Night Sorrow and the others stayed in Bamboo Garden Village. Yang Lei planned to chase after him, but she gave up because it was impossible for her to catch up with him. 6th Senior Sister, is there really no way to solve my Father Gu's condition? Yi Shang stood in the middle of the town and looked at the restored Bamboo Garden Town. He was asking about the shattered Dantian. Baidu search AI go female sign shall say www.aichuexis.com. It's very difficult. There's only one medicine that can do it. It's called the Energy Recovery Pill. In the history of our Medicine Valley, we've refined it once, but it's long gone. The main ingredient of the Energy Recovery Pill is the inner core of the Energy Recovery Beast. I've never heard of any Energy Recovery Beast. The Energy Recovery Beast is a rank 5 monster, and it's extremely fast. It's very difficult to kill it unless you're a supremacy, but which supremacy would hunt it? Aoi said with a bitter smile. If this continues, I'm worried that Father Gu won't have much lifespan left. Night Sorrow's eyes were a little dim. Tomorrow, I'll refine some energy recovery pills that can improve an ordinary person's physique. It's possible to extend their lifespan, Aoi said. 13. Father Gu just wants to live a normal life. You don't have to think too much, Yang Lei said. I understand. I just want to be filial. Night Sorrow nodded. / only 4 ZD official J version. The other %D all W. Yes. Steel I version P Night Sorrow and the rest stayed for 7 days. Father Gu began to chase them away. He didn't want Night Sorrow to waste time in Bamboo Garden Town. Moreover, Bamboo Garden Town had returned to normal and was currently being expanded. South Sky City had also sent more guards. Father, are you really not going to leave with me? Night Sorrow tried to persuade Father Gu. I was born here, so I'll stay here when I'm old. Don't worry and cultivate. Be careful in everything you do. Father Gu reminded Night Sorrow. I will. Night Sorrow sighed. He understood Father Gu and knew that once Father Gu decided on something, it was hard to change his mind. Father Gu, take one energy recovery pill every 3 days. Aoi, who had released the green condor, reminded Father Gu. Don't worry. I'll remember. I'll have to trouble you guys to take care of Night Sorrow, Father Gu said with a smile. Aoi, Yanglei, Sikong Chuyu, and Night Sorrow bowed to Father Gu before getting on the back of the flying beast and leaving. Standing on Tianyu's back and looking at Father Gu, who was waving goodbye with his only arm, Night Sorrow's tears fell. That figure was much older than he remembered. Knowing that Night Sorrow was sad, Aoi and the rest didn't say anything. Yang Lei threw a jar of wine to Night Sorrow. After drinking a jar of wine, Yishang's mood finally stabilized. He understood that Father Gu needed this kind of life. He had old neighbors and old companions. Even if he really went to the Longquan courtyard, he wouldn't necessarily be happy. They didn't go to Longquan courtyard. Instead, they went directly to Taishan Peak. 13. How's it going? Gong Xian asked when he saw the group. Without needing Night Sorrow to say anything, Yang Lei told him about the situation. Send someone to investigate. If this group of people is still in the Medicine Valley area, chase after them and kill them at all costs. Gong Xian instructed Shi Tianlin, who was beside him. Let's put this matter aside for now. We'll deal with it ourselves when the time comes. Night Sorrow stopped Shi Tianlin. Night Sorrow had his own considerations. He had brought a lot of trouble to the Medicine Valley. If he provoked giants like the Jiyu family and the Sikong family, it would bring an even greater disaster to the Medicine Valley. This was something he didn't want to see. After all, Hua Yimpeng was the only venerable in the Medicine Valley who had just advanced. He still needed time to develop. 13. Gong Xian looked at Night Sorrow and shouted. He could understand Night Sorrow's painstaking efforts. Eldest senior brother, thank you, Night Sorrow said as he bowed. With a sigh, Gong Xian shook his head and didn't say anything else. If Night Sorrow could think of it, how could he not think of it? After saying goodbye to Gong Xian, Night Sorrow and the others arrived at Bamboo Forest Peak. After eating something together, Aoi and Yang Lei left. Chiyu, I'm going to Pill Tripod Cliff to cultivate. It'll take a few days. Take care of yourself, Night Sorrow said to Sikong Chiyu. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You're already doing very well. Sikong Chiyu knew that Night Sorrow was under a lot of pressure now, mainly because the Jiyu family and the Sikong family were too strong. Night Sorrow smiled and hugged Sikong Chiyu. Then he took Tianyu to Pill Tripod Cliff. After sending Tianyu back, Night Sorrow began to climb the cliff. After returning to the 5,100-meter platform, Night Sorrow began to cultivate. After recovering his energy, Night Sorrow continued to cultivate. This was a process of consolidating his true chi cultivation base and strengthening his muscle-strengthening realm of the 7th level of the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome. This cultivation session lasted for 4 or 5 days. Night Sorrow felt his Myriad Dao Treasured Tome increase, but his true chi cultivation base didn't have any reaction at all. The degree of true chi condensation didn't change for 2 or 3 days. After thinking about it, Night Sorrow felt that this was a sign of true chi condensation reaching its limit. It couldn't continue to condense. Chapter 229. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow made the decision to break through to the core condensation stage. Since he could no longer increase the condensation of his true chi, it would be a waste of time to continue cultivating. It was meaningless. At this time, the sky was dark, and no one would continue to climb the cliff. There was no one else on Danding Cliff who could be like him, who could cultivate on Danding Cliff indefinitely. Night Sorrow took out the wine jar and drank 2 mouthfuls. When he wanted to drink more, he remembered Sikong Chuyu's words and put away the wine jar. He came to the platform 5,000 meters high and felt the night breeze, stabilizing his mood. After a while, Night Sorrow sat down cross-legged and began to circulate his true qi, stabilizing it and preparing to enter the core condensation stage. If others knew that Night Sorrow had broken through to the peak of element gathering stage in less than half a month, they would definitely think that Night Sorrow was greedy for merit. However, Night Sorrow knew that he could no longer increase the condensation of his true qi. After stabilizing his cultivation for half an hour, Night Sorrow began to compress the liquid true qi in his dantian. When qi refining stage entered element gathering stage, it was necessary to compress the gaseous true qi into a liquid state. When element gathering stage entered core condensation stage, it was necessary to condense the liquid true qi into a solid state, which was to condense it into a dan bead. Night Sorrow controlled the liquid true qi to compress toward the center of his dantian. Only when it was compressed to the extreme would there be a qualitative change. Love go little say W. Chu this was very difficult. The quality of the liquid true qi was already very high. It was not easy to improve it further. Time slipped away little by little. The volume of the true qi in Night Sorrow's dantian became smaller and smaller. It had already become a gelatinous state. 2 hours, 4 hours. Night Sorrow kept compressing his true qi, controlling the true qi in his dantian to rotate quickly. He kept compressing the liquid true qi in his dantian toward the center of his dantian, where the gelatinous true qi was located. This state was the state of a fake pill. Many people were stuck here because their true qi was not condensed enough to form a real pill. In the later stages, they had to constantly polish and condense their true qi to solidify. This was a time-consuming and laborious process. Of course, Night Sorrow knew what the current situation was. He didn't dare to be careless and tried his best to invade the gelatinous true qi. The gelatinous true qi became more and more solid, and the true qi in Night Sorrow's dantian became less and less. 6 hours, 8 hours, time passed very quickly, and the true qi in Night Sorrow's dantian slowly disappeared. All of it entered the gelatinous true qi in the core of his dantian. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuexis.com now. It could be said that it was no longer gelatinous true qi. It had already taken the embryonic form of a dan bead, which was the size of a pigeon egg. Night Sorrow wanted to compress all the irregular gelatinous true qi around the dan bead into the dan bead. The sky was already bright, and Night Sorrow was also at the final moment of breakthrough. With a low roar in Night Sorrow's heart, the last bit of gelatinous true qi was squeezed into the dan bead by Night Sorrow. When the last bit of gelatinous true qi disappeared, and was all compressed into the dan bead in Night Sorrow's dantian shook, and then began to operate. Then, it released a trace of mist towards Night Sorrow's dantian, which was the true qi released by the dan bead. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuexis.com the dan bead began to rotate, and Night Sorrow's aura also changed. At this time he was no longer a yuan gathering stage cultivator, but a third-order core condensation stage cultivator. After opening his eyes, Night Sorrow got up and began to cultivate on the platform at a height of 5,100 meters. While stabilizing his core condensation stage cultivation, he also increased his myriad Tao tome cultivation to the peak of 7th level muscle strengthening stage. After cultivating for 2 more days, Night Sorrow completely stabilized his core condensation stage cultivation. And after cultivating the myriad Tao tome to the peak of 7th level muscle strengthening stage, he stood up. After standing up, Night Sorrow saw Tianyu flying outside the Danding cliff with the silver fox cub on his back, and then he let out a long howl. Tianyu came here once a day. When he heard Night Sorrow's howl, Tianyu flew to the periphery of Night Sorrow's location. Night Sorrow jumped up and directly landed on Tianyu's back. Then he controlled Tianyu to descend. Although he didn't need to register and didn't need to spend merit points, he still needed to greet Elder Su when he came or left. This was a courtesy. At the bottom of the Danding cliff, Night Sorrow jumped off Tianyu and bowed to Elder Su. Elder Su, disciple has to go back first. Core condensation stage. How long have you been in the peak of Yuan gathering stage? You dare to break through to the core condensation stage, child. You are too reckless. Fortunately, you succeeded, otherwise the consequences would be serious. Seeing Night Sorrow's cultivation, Elder Su was shocked at first, then he was scared. If Night Sorrow failed to break through and entered the pseudo-core stage, it would take several years to cross this gap, and even the most outstanding genius would be buried. Fortunately, Night Sorrow succeeded. Elder Su, don't worry, I'm sure. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Child, you are too crazy, you can't be like this in the future. Hurry up and see the Valley Master. The Valley Master will also scold you. Elder Su said with a smile. After the fear, he was happy. Night Sorrow was young, and his cultivation time was short, but he was strong in fighting. After crossing this step, it would be another period of rapid improvement. Elder Su, take this wine. Leaving a jar of wine for Elder Su, Night Sorrow rode Tianyu and left. Night Sorrow didn't go to the Danding Peak. He didn't want to disturb Yu Yangyu because of this. In Night Sorrow's heart, this was a breakthrough. He didn't realize how difficult it was to go from the Yuan gathering stage to the core condensation stage. Night Sorrow didn't go to the Taishan Temple, and directly returned to the Bamboo Forest Peak. After getting off Tianyu, Night Sorrow saw Sikong Chiyu meditating on a futon in front of the bamboo house. Feeling Night Sorrow's aura, Sikong Chiyu opened his eyes and stood up. Core condensation stage? You went to breakthrough. Didn't you say you were going to cultivate? I was cultivating, and I felt like I was about to break through. Night Sorrow said as he sat down. That was a bit rash. You should know that this is a very important transformation for a cultivator. Once you fail, you will have to spend a lot of energy to make up for it. In mini powers, no matter how good a member is, once they enter the fake core stage, they will be abandoned and won't be focused on. Sikong Chiyu said. I feel that the time is right. I won't joke about my cultivation. Night Sorrow said. I know you are under a lot of pressure, but you have to promise me that you will not be so impulsive in the future. You will discuss things with me more. Also, I want to congratulate you for crossing a big hurdle. Sikong Chiyu looked at Night Sorrow's messy hair, and suddenly felt sorry for him. I will, let's make a pot of tea. Night Sorrow said with a smile. To be able to see Sikong Chiyu's smile, training hard was nothing to him. And had XGV? Okay, we will make some dishes later, and drink to celebrate later. Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. Chapter 230. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Hearing that Night Sorrow had entered the core condensation stage, Enlightenment and the others stopped cultivating at Danding Cliff, and went straight to Taishan Peak to drink with Night Sorrow. This was a big deal. Senior sister Lan Yu, you've finally made it. Senior brother Yin Xiao has entered the core condensation stage. Martial Uncle Yi has also entered the core condensation stage. If he didn't enter the core condensation stage, I don't know how long he would suppress us. Feng Yan said with a smile. If Night Sorrow succeeded, Lan Yu would be first on the list. Haha. It hasn't been easy for me. I must have a good drink today. Lan Yu said excitedly. I don't know what you're so excited about. Don't you feel that the gap between you and Martial Uncle Yi is getting bigger? Enlightenment looked at them with a smile and poured cold water on them. Martial Uncle Yi is too much of a beast. After entering the core condensation stage, the road ahead is smooth. It doesn't matter if the gap is big. I won't compete with him, I'll compete with you. Shi Yinhai was quite optimistic. Yes, it's time for those guys on the pill list to have a headache. It won't be long before the pill list becomes a mess. Martial Uncle Yi has broken through, we must celebrate. Feng Yan was also quite excited. When they passed by the Taishan Hall, they met Aoi who came out of the Taishan Hall. Stop. You bastards, why aren't you cultivating? What are you doing at Taishan Peak? Aoi stopped them. They were heading towards the Bamboo Forest Peak. Aoi knew that it wasn't convenient for Sikong Chiyu to show up. Martial Uncle Aoi, we're here to celebrate Martial Uncle Yi. Feng Yan bowed to Aoi and said. What's there to celebrate? Your martial uncle Yi is in a bad mood recently. He's very angry. Aoi glared at Feng Yan. Entering the core condensation stage isn't such a good thing worth celebrating. Shi Yinhai whispered. He felt that the people of Taixian Peak were too abnormal. What? What do you mean by entering the core condensation stage? Aoi didn't hear clearly, so she asked back. Martial Uncle Yi has entered the core condensation stage. Doesn't Martial Uncle Aoi know? Lan Yu asked. 13 entered the core condensation stage? That's impossible. He only reached the peak of element gathering stage a few days ago. Who told you this? Aoi shook her head. She, Night Sorrow, and the others had just returned from Zhiyuan town a few days ago. She understood Night Sorrow's situation. She originally planned to tell Night Sorrow that she was accompanying the Sikong Chiyu, and let Night Sorrow go to the Longquan courtyard to consolidate his cultivation. What's going on? Gong Xian and Huanan also came out of the main hall. Those bastards came to drink with 13, and they even came up with the reason that 13 entered the core condensation stage to celebrate. Aoi said. Martial Uncle Aoi, we didn't say that. It was Elder Su of Danding Cliff who said that Martial Uncle Yi was in the core condensation stage when he left this morning. Feng Yan said with a depressed face. Oh, is it true? Let's go and see. Aoi heard that it was Elder Su who said it, so she knew that it might be true. Riding the Green Eagle, Aoi and Gong Xian arrived at the bamboo forest peak. When they arrived, they saw Night Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu eating. He really entered the core condensation stage. Gong Xian looked at Night Sorrow from head to toe. You bastard, you really dare to mess around. Aoi went up and slapped Night Sorrow on the shoulder. 6th Senior Sister. Why are you all scolding me? I've been cultivating for a few days, and I found that my chi didn't change at all. There's no point in continuing to condense it. Isn't it a waste of time if I don't break through? Night Sorrow was a little confused. Sikong, when the Enlightenment people come, you should hide. Safety is the most important. Aoi ignored Night Sorrow's explanation and turned to Sikong Chiyu and said, Okay, then I'll go out for a walk. Sikong Chiyu stretched out his hand to summon the silver fox cub and left the bamboo garden peak. 13. Does Master know about your breakthrough? Gong Xian sat down and asked. No, it's not a big matter, so I won't disturb Master. Night Sorrow said. It's not a big matter? It's a big matter, you know. When us brothers and sisters enter the core condensation stage, Master is always by our side. This transformation directly affects our future achievements. Fortunately, you made it through. Gong Xian looked at Night Sorrow and shook his head helplessly. Then, the Enlightenment people came over and greeted Gong Xian and Aoi. Martial Aunt Aoi, look, Martial Aunt Night Sorrow really entered the core condensation stage. We didn't lie. After greeting them, Feng Yan said, Okay, you guys chat. 13. Remember to visit Master when you have time. Gong Xian said to Night Sorrow and left with Aoi. Eldest senior brother, 13 is too reckless. How long has it been since he entered the peak of the essence gathering stage? He dares to break through to the core condensation stage. Aoi was a little scared. Look at the original version, Chapter A, Section 013 isn't a reckless person. His cultivation path is different from ordinary people. Well, this is something to be happy about, Gong Xian said with a smile. Enlightenment and the others drank for a while before leaving. Although they didn't say anything, Night Sorrow's breakthrough gave them a lot of pressure. Only after they left did Sikong Chiyu return. Sikong, I've wronged you. Night Sorrow said apologetically. How could you say that? I'm not wronged at all. Sikong Chiyu smiled. Chapter 231. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. 9th Senior Sister doesn't mind. Sikong Chiyu said in a low voice. Night Sorrow didn't know what to say and didn't continue to explain. Some things can't be explained clearly. The two sat for a while, and then went back to cultivate. After the night passed, Yishan woke up early to practice his movement, spear art, and fist art. Night Sorrow's Zhen Qi entered the core condensation stage, and his myriad Dao Tome reached the 8th level of the muscle-strengthening stage. His movement and battle skills needed to adapt to his new cultivation. He cultivated for the whole morning. Night Sorrow's spear, movement, and fist arts were also integrated with his cultivation. Night Sorrow, you should go to Tianji Tower, and let the Tianjin Tower know about your recent situation. You entered the core condensation stage so quickly and filled your body with blood qi. These are all your strengths. If you show your strengths, it will be beneficial for the Tianjin Tower's assessment. Sikong Chiyu said to Night Sorrow. That's good. I'll be back soon. Night Sorrow nodded. He felt that Sikong Chiyu's words were reasonable. This was indeed his strength. Riding on Tianyu, Night Sorrow left. Standing on an ancient tree on Taixian Peak, Hua Yimpeng watched Night Sorrow leave, and didn't continue to follow. He already knew that Night Sorrow entered the Tianjin Tower, so he felt that the Golden Flame sect wouldn't dare to hunt down Night Sorrow. After all, the Golden Flame sect was nothing in front of the Tianjin Tower. Riding on Tianyu, Night Sorrow directly went to Yang Lei's mansion. He wanted to see Yang Lei first and then do other things. Seeing that Night Sorrow's cultivation had reached the core condensation stage, Yang Lei's attitude was the same as Aoi's. She directly yelled, blaming Night Sorrow for being too impulsive. Night Sorrow was very conflicted. Now, everyone said the same thing when they saw him break through. However, he also knew that everyone was concerned about him and wanted his own good. Then, Yang Lei patted Night Sorrow's shoulder. Are you angry? Ninth Senior Sister's words are a bit harsh, but you really can't be rash. Night Sorrow shook his head and said, I'm not angry. You have to believe me. I won't joke about cultivation. My words were indeed harsh. It's my fault. How about this? I'll treat you to a good meal. Yang Lei put her arm around Night Sorrow's shoulder and said, I'm going to take a walk around Tianji Tower, and then we'll go eat, Night Sorrow said. Yes, you're walking on this path now. Any qualifications are very important. Let's go and have a look. Yang Lei understood Night Sorrow's meaning, and also knew that it was necessary. While Yang Lei was chatting with Night Sorrow, Gong Xian also arrived at the Danding Hall, and reported to Yang Yu about Night Sorrow's breakthrough. This made the first elder and second elder very surprised. Then, Gong Xian said that Aoi had already scolded Night Sorrow. 13 has been cultivating at Danding Cliff during this time. His cultivation isn't superficial. Maybe he really feels that he's mature enough. Your 13th junior brother isn't stupid. Yang Yu said. His cultivation speed is too fast. In the future, he shouldn't participate in the competition between newcomers. Just give him merit points. If he participates, there's no way for newcomers to survive. Qian Wu said with a smile. Don't talk about him when you go back. You're doing it for his own good, but it will also bring pressure to him. Yang Yu said to Gong Xian. Night Sorrow left Yang Lei's mansion and went to Tianji Tower. Seeing Night Sorrow, Enforcer Dong was very happy and very polite. Although Night Sorrow didn't work at Tianji Tower, his status had already surpassed Enforcer Dong's. Yin Shui and Jiao Qing had already informed him that Night Sorrow had become the focus of Black Group, and asked him to pay attention to all information about Night Sorrow. In addition, if Night Sorrow had something to do, Tianji Tower's Danding City also had to cooperate with him. Not bad. You've cultivated to the core condensation realm. The energy contained in your body is much stronger than before. Enforcer Dong said. I've had some breakthroughs recently. Night Sorrow nodded. Tianji Tower already knows what the Jiyu family did in Juyuan Town. If the Jiyu family comes to Medicine Valley again, they will be expelled. Enforcer Dong said to Night Sorrow. So this is the order from Tianji Tower? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. Yes, it's the order from the headquarters. Originally, the Jiyu family was still lingering around this area. They were looking for our young miss, but because they had crossed the line in Bamboo Garden Town, the higher-ups ordered them to leave this area. They should know that they can't touch Bamboo Garden Town, Enforcer Dong said. I understand. If you have the chance, please express my gratitude for me. Night Sorrow cupped his hands to Enforcer Dong. No problem. I'll report the situation here in detail. If you need any help, just let me know. Enforcer Dong said to Night Sorrow. How about this? Tianji Tower is well informed. As long as the Sikong family and the Jiyu family come to Eastern Xian Domain, can you inform me as soon as possible? Night Sorrow said. Yes, it's impossible for them to cross the domain without a word. Tianji Tower will know immediately. I'll inform the higher-ups. Also, if you need anything, you can contact Lord Jiaoqing directly. Enforcer Dong said to Night Sorrow. Nothing. Night Sorrow shook his head. He didn't need to contact Lord Jiaoqing. He came here today to let Tianji Tower know about his progress. There was no other meaning. Of course, to know in advance that the Sikong family and the Jiyu family would come to Eastern Xian Domain was what Night Sorrow wanted. After leaving Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei found a restaurant to eat. Danding City has stabilized. I can go back to Taishan Peak. If you have time, you can go to Ninth Senior Sister's place. Yang Lei poured a bowl of wine for Night Sorrow and said, Ninth Senior Sister is going back. I was planning to come over. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Don't you plan to continue to accompany your Chuyu? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. She didn't expect Night Sorrow to make such a decision. Yishang told him about his request at the Celestial Terminus Tower. That's right. You will be the first to know when people from the Jiyu family and the Sikong family come. This way, the Longquan courtyard will be relatively safe and suitable for cultivation. Yang Lei understood Night Sorrow's meaning. I see. If I need to go to Danding Cliff to cultivate, I will ride Tianyu back. The rest of the time, I plan to cultivate in the Longquan courtyard. Night Sorrow nodded. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation /part 7_x. Okay, I will send people to keep an eye out for outsiders. As long as outsiders come to Danding City, they will inform us immediately. Then Sikong family's safety will be no problem. Also, I will ask 6th Senior Sister to come over and set up some formations around the Longquan courtyard. Then nothing will go wrong. Yang Lei added. After eating with Yang Lei, Night Sorrow left. He planned to talk to Yang Yu and then take Sikong Chuyu to the Longquan courtyard to cultivate. Most importantly, he wanted to continue to do missions. Silver missions aside, he could continue to sweep the bronze missions. Night Sorrow didn't say these words to anyone. Since there was a Heaven's Fate assessment, he would continue. He wanted to go to the Qingtian domain. Tianji Tower provided this opportunity, so he had to cherish it. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.